Glad to have you along tonight. Crawfordsville will be kicking off wearing their traveling whites to North Montgomery here at home in their home dark blues. The opening kick down to the 7-yard line, make it the 8. It's McCormick on the carry, working to the right side across the 20, up to the 25-yard line, and is brought down by special teams coverage of Crawfordsville. The tackle goes to Steve Harris. Harris, the sophomore, coming in on special teams action to bring down McCormick after a pretty decent game to give North Montgomery good field position.
Yeah, North's going to start with the ball just out past the 25-yard line, Jeff, almost to the 26, and it's good field position. They didn't make any mistakes. No penalties. A nice way clean to start. You don't want to start in a deep hole. They're 75 yards away from a touchdown.
Well, as we see, North will see them in their traditional offense that we've seen all year long as our FM broadcast crew has covered both north and south. They'll run mostly out of an I formation. They do that with Jason Walls and Sam Fairfield. They'll put Walls in motion, 2 wideouts to the left side. Junior quarterback B.J. Schlicher calls the signals. He'll hand off on a straight dive play up the middle. It's going to be Fairfield on the right side. He'll pick up a yard, maybe 2, as Nick Radakovitz will bring him down. Radakovitz, a name that we're going to call many times defensively for the Athenians, gentlemen. 24 unassisted tackles with 22 assisted tackles on the game or on the season. 5 sacks of the quarterback. He's got an interception and a fumble recovery, the heart of the Crawfordsville defensive line.
And more importantly, Jeff, he makes the big plays. He's the one you'll call late in the game when Crawfordsville needs a stop.
Second down and about 9 to go. Same formation as before. Walls again in motion to the far side of the field as North sets up on second down. Schlicher throwing out over the middle. He's got his tight end open. This is Guinn. Guinn will haul the catch down as he crosses the 40 and the 45-yard line and be brought down at about the 48-yard line. Ryan Proctor is on the tackle for Crawfordsville. And Tom, we talked about it before the game. We know with Coach German and his coaching staff talked about it last week after the loss to McCutcheon. They did not throw to their tight end last week at all. And this young man, Jason Guinn, is an exceptional student. He's a great athlete. He's a guy that can catch the ball. That on the season was his 8th catch of the year. He's got 3 touchdowns to go with it. It's a first down for North Montgomery. Jason McCormick, Tyler Fuller split wide to the left side, same formation. Now they run this way. This is Walls on the carry coming towards us. He crosses midfield. He's to the 45-yard line of Crawfordsville before John Lamb hauls him down after a gain of about 7 yards. So, Tom, North Montgomery offensively wanting to score on their first drive, as I understand.
Well, really, you were talking about a North Montgomery team that got shut out last week, and in the game against Western Boone 2 weeks ago, they were up 25-0 at half in the rain. They took most of their starters out to prevent injury, let those JV players get a lot of experience. So the North team has not scored now in 6 consecutive quarters.
We've talked about their defense so much and how they have shut their opponents out in 4 of their 5 wins. You didn't realize it had been a long time since they put any points on the board. 7 yards on the run for Walls. He'll go in motion now to the far side of the field as Schlicher will keep the ball. He'll roll to the right side. He'll bounce off one tackler, bounce off a second tackler, get the ball past the original line of scrimmage and get down close to the first down sticks. And he is hauled down by Jamie Moore, the starting middle linebacker. And Moore, the sophomore, Tom, at only 155 pounds, picking up his first start of the season.
It's one of those things that you see both teams all season long, and even Southmont, more due to injuries, have done a lot of adjusting from week to week, guys who have good weeks in practice. And these 3 coaches in the county are great, I guess, examples of they look at the guys who are doing well in practice during the week, can replace somebody who's a traditional starter. And you hear coaches say that a lot, and this is actually 3 coaches that do it.
Jamie Moore is a junior, not a sophomore. They run by Schlicher just a little bit short as they bring the sticks out to measure. Want to quickly run down the front line of North Montgomery. They'll put Sean Spitznagel on the offensive tackle on the left side. He's a 200-pound senior. Beside him on the guard spot is Ryan J., 180-pound senior. At the center, Kyle Burke, 245 pounds and a senior. Dan Suter is a 260-pound senior. He's the right guard, and right tackle Tim Flagg, 180-pound sophomore. 3rd down and inches to go for North Montgomery. They're at the Crawfordsville 42-yard line. Schlicher will just go straight ahead. He'll pick up yards. He'll get a couple, 3, maybe 5 yards now. He just bowls his way behind his center, Kyle Burke, and the middle of the line, Jeremy Powell, Radakovitz, and others are there for Crawfordsville to bring Schlicher down, but not before the big junior quarterback gets his team another fresh set of downs. We're just underway, 9:30 and counting in the first quarter. No score. North Montgomery on their first drive of the game.
That's right. First time that North has been faced with a 3rd down conversion attempt, and they pick it up with no problem.
They move the ball from the Crawfordsville 38-yard line. Schlicher with a one-back set behind him. That's Fairfield. He'll put Walls in the slot on the left side. 4 out in pattern. Schlicher back to throw. Here's the big blitz. There's the completion. The completion is again to Guinn. So the tight end with 2 catches thus far from his junior quarterback. He'll get down to near the 30-yard line. Proctor and Chris Cotton are in on the tackles for Crawfordsville, but not before North Montgomery uses their tight end passing combination to pick up about 6.5, maybe 7 yards, and make it a second down and short call now for Charlie German's offense.
And, Jason Guinn, although he's only caught 7 passes coming into the game, 2 more tonight, coming into the game, Jeff, he was averaging almost 20 yards per catch, and he had the 3 touchdowns.
As we noted, second down and a short call coming up. Here's the I formation with McCormick and Fuller split wide to the left side. Schlicher over center, fakes the inside, or fakes the outside move, goes back to the inside. Crawfordsville has seen that one in the films way too many times, and Nick Radakovitz stands still and will put Fairfield down for actually a loss of almost 2 yards on the play to now make it a third down and a short 5 to go for North. So they had a third and inches moments ago. Schlicher went behind his center for the yardage and got the first down. They are now going to have to come up with something that will pick up about 4.5 or 5 yards if they want to continue on with this first drive of the ball game. From the 32-yard line of the Athenians, 8 minutes ago in the first quarter. Schlicher again will set an I formation up behind him, split 2 out wide to the left side. He'll bring Fuller back in motion to the near side. Here's Walls. Walls on the left side. Oh, what a great block on the front. He's across the 30, down to the 25, down near the 20-yard line. Ryan Proctor comes up from a safety position to make the tackle. But, Tom, what a tremendous block Sam Fairfield laid on about 3 Crawfordsville defenders. It opened up the entire outside wing for Walls to advance down for nearly 10 yards. In fact, it is statistically a 10-yard gain and the first down.
And that's something you shouldn't be surprised from North when they get in a position where they need 3 or 4 yards. If they've already gone to the tight end a couple times or attempted it, very well it's either a sweep with BJ on a keeper or they get the ball to Walls and let him get a blocker out front.
First down on the near hash mark from the Crawfordsville 23-yard line. Schlicher calls the cadence and gets Crawfordsville to jump. Were they drawn? I don't know, but we've got our first penalty flag of the ball game. The referees will confer, and the call is encroachment against Crawfordsville. So the ball will move 5 yards closer. It'll go from the 22 down to the 17-yard line. Tom, we're getting very close to a 10-play drive already for North Montgomery here on this, their first possession of the game.
That's right. This will be the 9th play of the drive coming up, and it'll be, as you mentioned, a first down and 5 and great field position and a great first drive for the Chargers.
As North, again, is on their first possession. We've now got a conference to get down on the field.
While they're getting ready to set, Jet, if you notice when they went up to the line, although they were not able to run the play, they lined up in a very tight formation with Fairfield about 2 yards behind BJ and then Jason Walls 2 yards behind him. When they go to that position, very often they run a quick trap where they fake it to Fairfield going right, and it's almost an old scissors play, one of the most basic plays in football, and they give the ball back to Jason Walls and let him cut left between the guard and the tackle. And if he can get, and it's one of those, if he can get a quick spring block, and if the left inside or linebacker for Crawfordsville would bite on that and follow Fairfield, and they set it up earlier on that first play to Fairfield, very often Walls will get clear and he gets big yards.
They put a few seconds back on the clock. They are now ready to go. It is first down and 5 for North Montgomery as they drive on their first play, the first possession. Schlicher back to throw, throwing out onto the flat, looking for Guinn again, who was down near the goal line. Guinn, though, was covered real well by Ryan Proctor, and the pass goes incomplete. Tom, the pass was not poorly thrown. Guinn did not have a chance to get to the spot where the ball was going to be because Crawfordsville put a good rush on Schlicher. And you and I talked about it. We didn't get a chance to talk about it in the pregame. The pass rush by both teams is probably one of the most important factors in this game.
And it really is. And BJ needs to realize that Crawfordsville, although they're a good defensive team, they are not McCutcheon. He is going to have more time, and he needs to settle down, allow himself to have that time.
McCormick and Clint Calder split wide to the right side now on second down and 5. I formation set up behind Schlicher. On the play, here's Walls on the handoff on the right side behind the blocking of Suter and Flagg. He'll get down near the 15-yard line. Jeremy Powell and John Lamb will combine for the stop for Crawfordsville. Powell on the season having a great defensive year. 52 tackles, 22 solos, and 30 assists. 5 sacks also, so he and Radakovitz make up for 10 sacks on that right side of the defensive front line for Crawfordsville. John Lamb, no slouch himself, 53 tackles and a fumble recovery in the course of the first 6 games of the season. We'll give Walls about 4 on that play, actually about 2.5, maybe 3, who cares? It's third down, a couple yards to go here for North Montgomery. 6.5 minutes to go on the clock. Here's the wide pitch. It's Walls. He breaks one tackle. He's got a first down. He's down near the goal line. He'll be drugged down very close. We get no indication from the guys in the stripes, and it's going to be first down and goal to go for North Montgomery. Walls is hauled down literally by his belt loop by Courtney Whitehead, the last Crawfordsville player with a chance, and he literally stopped Walls inside the 1-yard line.
And Jeff, this is so reminiscent of homecoming night for Jason Walls, who just came out against Lebanon and just blew his way through the line and got himself open. So far, 4 carries, 34 yards.
He had over 300 yards of offense on the first count. It's B.J. Schlicher, touchdown. From only inches out, not even setting his offensive line, Schlicher took the snap from his senior center, Kyle Burke, went right behind him, caught Crawfordsville's defensive line before the shift, and he went in very easily for the first touchdown of the ball game. It comes with 6:11 to go here in the first quarter, and it will bring Emmanuel Cervantes out for the extra point attempt, 11 of 19 on the season. Schlicher officially will get a 1-yard run, and we'll get the drive chart from Tom after the PAT attempt. Well, actually, we may get it right now. As Schlicher, the spotter for Cervantes, we've got a flag on the extra point attempt. And Tom, we'll go ahead and get some numbers here on the drive.
Sure. North Montgomery just went 75 yards after taking the opening kick. 12 plays, 5 minutes, 49 yards. On the drive, B.J. Schlicher was 2 out of 3, both receptions to Jason Guinn for a total of 30 yards. And the big man on the ground, Jason Walls, 4 carries, 34 yards.
5-yard mark-off against North on the illegal procedure call will set Cervantes back at his own 15-yard line. Cervantes is only 0 of 1 kicking field goals on the year. He has a history of hooking these things to the left, and he's kicking into the pretty strong wind. Here's the placement, the snap, and the kick is down. It's very low, and it's no good, wide to the left side. So again, the point after is the touchdown difficult for North Montgomery. They do not convert. They have, though, gotten on the board. With 6:11 to go in the first quarter, we'll be back with North Montgomery's kickoff right after this.
High school football down.
Getting ready for North Montgomery's kickoff after they take the opening kickoff and go near the length of the field. Tom, 75 yards. A good combination run and pass play mix. They threw to the tight end, which they had done in a couple weeks, and got themselves up on the scoreboard, which has just got to put all kinds of confidence in the offense.
That's right. If nothing else, it gives them that confidence to realize that what they were doing 2 weeks ago against Western Boone, they're capable of doing that, and it's readily available against the Athenians.
Getting ready to kick off. North Montgomery will put the toe into it at the 40-yard line, deep for Crawfordsville, and taking the ball on the about 16-yard line is Guinn, or excuse me, is J.D. Flynn, not Guinn, my bad on that. Number 80 down there is J.D. Flynn, the outstanding wide receiver for Crawfordsville. He picks the ball up at about the 17-yard line, so Tom, a very short kickoff by North gives Crawfordsville good field position, and we want to run down some of the numbers as we get the return stat from Tom.
I was going to say, it's just a 10-yard return by J.D. Flynn, who is one of the heroes in last week's game with the great reception to set up the winning field goal.
Flynn on the year will split out wide to the far side as the first play from scrimmage is coming up for Crawfordsville on the season. 22 catches for almost 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns. On the I formation, set up behind quarterback Matt Walker. Crawfordsville puts their ball into play for the first time tonight. They're going to throw deep. They're looking for Flynn. He chucks up, stops, heads back upfield, but the pass from Walker is way too far, about a 5-yard overthrow. Jason Walls is on coverage, but Tom, Crawfordsville coming out, going for broke on the first play as they go out and roll senior quarterback Matt Walker out to the right side to get away from North's good pass rush, and then they throw the ball deep.
Well, we saw that, last year in Crawfordsville games where they might get down a little bit and they go for the quick strike if it's there, and they're a very aggressive team offensively.
3 wideouts in the pattern, 2 wide to the left side, 1 to the left, 1 back behind Walker. Here comes the rush on as Walker looks to throw, and the sack by North Montgomery's Mike Gerald. Gerald was absolutely untouched. He blew through the line. He picks up sack. He is not one of the big number sack guys for North Montgomery. That's his first sack of the season, but Monty Daney has been drawing double coverage over the last couple weeks. Daney has 10 individual sacks. Loss of about 7 yards on that play. Walker tackled deep. He is now going to have to throw the ball as it is now 3rd down and 17 to go for the Athenians. Flynn comes in motion to the near side. Walker rolls out to the right. He's harassed. He'll put the ball in play. Here's a throw. Is it complete? Yes, it is. At the 29-yard line. The pass is completed to Craig Boyd. Boyd, the 125-pound junior, only 5'5", rolled out into the pattern, got down about 10 yards as Tyler Fuller made sure that he goes no farther. Actually, his knee was down, and he would have gone no farther no matter what. So the pass play picks up a few of the lost yards, plus a couple more. The ball is spotted at the 30, and Brett Moats will drop back into punt formation, and North will put Walls and Fairfield deep. They are at their own 30-yard line. Moats on the season averaging a very, very respectable 30-some yards, about 32 yards per kick. Gets a pretty good kick away here with the win. Gets also a pretty good roll. The ball goes out of bounds at about the 32-yard line of North Montgomery, make it the 33. So Crawfordsville is 3 and out. We'll be back with North Montgomery's second possession of the ball game right after this.
Puritan Water Conditioning has installed units in you. Call them at 362-6340 for a free water analysis or stop in at 216 Lafayette Avenue, Crawfordsville. Puritan, known for top quality and service.
On first down, Jason Walls will meet the wrath of the front line of Crawfordsville's Kyle Vaught, especially leading the charge, but there were about 4 or 5 white shirts down there as on first down the Chargers elect to try and run the ball. Again, as we noted, Walls, who on the season having a great year, 5.8 yards per carry average, along with 25, 1 touchdown, also 225 yards in receptions, Tom. We talked about him earlier, a 300-yard game, running, passing, and returning a couple of weeks ago. Just a great overall athlete for the Chargers. On second down, we'll call it 10 to go. Schlicher sets the I formation up behind him. He'll fake the run on play action. He's got a man open out in the flat. This is his tight end, Jason Guinn, and Guinn can't get to the ball. Led him just a little bit too far. Ryan Proctor had coverage, but had Guinn about gotten 2 more steps, he would have been open, and he would have picked up about 25 yards.
And what's amazing, after only really attempting 1 pass towards Jason Guinn last week, and that being shut down by the McCutcheon linebackers, every pass attempt tonight for North has been thrown towards the tight end, and they have gone away from people like Jason Walls and people like Jason McCormick.
Now, you want a prediction? The second half, you'll start seeing them throwing
that quick guy
to lots of those Jasons. Third down, a long 9 to go for Schlicher. He'll keep 1 back behind him. That's Fairfield. Fairfield stays in the block. Schlicher puts the ball in play as he looking for Tyler Fuller cutting over the middle, but Fuller has a pretty good hit put on him by Ryan Proctor. Proctor from a safety position, also coverage there by linebacker Jamie Moore, and it'll be 4th down. So just as quickly as Crawfordsville went 3 and out, now on this second possession, North Montgomery goes 3 and out. The Chargers do, though, hold a 6-0 lead. 3.5 minutes to go here in this first quarter of play. Again, glad to have you along tonight on a great, great football night. Cannot believe it. I want to knock on wood. It's my 7th night. I haven't had a jacket on yet to broadcast a football game. Flynn is deep. Here's a high snap over Daney's head. He will not get the kick away. He's going to run for his life. He's going to pick up only a couple of yards. He'll be tackled at about the 27-yard line. North Montgomery has played with fire before on the punt game, Tom. John Lamb is in on the rush. He'll be credited with the tackle of Monty Daney. Daney, who has a tremendous average kicking the ball, averaging about 35 yards a kick, which would put him about 5th in the Big Ten, but he did not even get the ball. The ball high over his head, and a good rush by Crawfordsville will give the Athenians excellent field position. They are at the North 29-yard line with 3:30 exactly left on this first quarter clock. Walker will bring his offense out. He'll put 3 wide receivers out. 1 back behind to block. That's Whitehead. Walker throwing for it all. Down into the corner of the end zone. The pass is incomplete. Walls back on deep coverage. The intended receiver, again, J.D. Flynn for Crawfordsville. 183-pound junior at about 5'9". A favorite go-to guy from a wideout position for Matt Walker, who, as we noted, has thrown for 900-plus yards on the season, but he has no hesitant to throw to his running backs, Brett Moats and Courtney Whitehead.
I was going to say, if you take away J.D. Flynn's 22 passes, Jeff, then the other wideout, Brian Lynn, only 5 catches on the season.
Moats goes out into the slot on the left side as we now have a whistle and a flag on the second down call, as the play will not even get a chance to develop. The line judges are whistling this one dead. We'll have an encroachment call of some sort coming up. Walker is being asked, as the defense is going to be penalized for 5 yards. So North Montgomery will see a 5-yard mark-off go against them, and it'll be 2nd down and 5 now for Crawfordsville.
Early in the season, Jeff, the Chargers were just plagued by penalties, kind of like Southmont was, and as things have gotten better, their penalties have gone steadily down. Not a good way to start with 2 5-yard penalties already in the first 9 minutes of the game.
Only 4 penalties in each game the last 2 weeks after about 130 yards of penalties against Lebanon. 2nd down and 5 call coming up for Walker. Puts Flynn in motion. Drop back to throw. Looking for a man on the flat on the left side. Couldn't get the ball to him. Again, J.D. Flynn is the intended receiver, and Flynn is now starting to draw triple coverage. James Guinn was back on one of the coverages. Also back there was Kevin Templeman. Double linebackers covering Flynn. That's kind of an interesting call, Tom, to have linebackers doing the coverage work on one of the wide receivers of the other team.
Well, I think when you've got quick linebackers and people like that you have to shift back, because it is going to take more than one person to cover J.D. Flynn, just like you'll notice it's taking more than one person to cover Jason McCormick.
3rd down and 5 call coming up. I formation sets up behind Walker. Flynn wide to the right side. Here comes the play on a delay draw. This was going to be the first running play of the night for Crawfordsville. Courtney Whitehead will go nowhere as he is piled up by the inside part of the North Montgomery defensive line. Tim Flagg comes up from a linebacker position to fill one of the holes. He and Kevin Templeman do the dirty work and get the tackle as the ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line. So actually it'll be about a loss of 1 yard for Crawfordsville.
But obviously they're going for it because it's 4th down from the 25.
It's a little too far even for Mr. Moats' toe to reach. On 4th down and long, 2:45 to go. Flynn goes in motion to the far side. Walker drops back to throw, keeps a couple backers into block. The pass is intended again for Flynn on the left side. And again, Jason Guinn out there on coverage along with Templeman and Flagg. And on downs, as the incomplete pass falls away from Flynn, it will be North Montgomery ball. So after the Chargers took the opening kickoff, 75 yards in 12 plays to score, both teams now have had difficulty moving the ball. Crawfordsville 3 and out, North 3 and out. Now Crawfordsville cannot take advantage of the big play, the bad punt play by North Montgomery, and they'll turn the ball over on downs. The Chargers ball, 1st and 10. They'll move from their own 25-yard line with 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. North up by a touchdown. The I formation sets up behind Schlicher. He'll hand off to Walls on 1st down. Walls has room on the left side. He'll break one tackle. He's across the 30 to the 35-yard line. He'll be hauled down at about the 36-yard line by Brian Miller, but not before Mr. Walls will pick up nearly enough yards for a 1st down, Tom.
And I tell you what, I haven't seen Coach Charlie German as upset as he just was. There was a player from Crawfordsville who came in and cleaned up at the very end of the play, and Charlie German wanted a late hit, and he was right in the official's ear because it happened right in front of him. And if nothing else, it's a good job by Charlie German of just putting that seed in the official's mind, just like a good basketball coach, because we're still here in the first quarter.
Well, I know both Coach Chavatello and Coach German, over the course of their many, many years, Coach German in his 12th year here at North Montgomery, certainly have done all the seeding of officials that they possibly can. It was a 1st down. Schlicher will throw on 1st down. That's a lateral as the lateral goes out to McCormick, and McCormick is going to be smothered up for a loss of about 5 yards. The play, you can tell by and we've also got a late flag down now, but you can tell by the referee's indication that it was a backwards movement of the ball, so it was a lateral, and the call is going to be a holding call against North Montgomery. I would suspect, gentlemen, that Crawfordsville will take this play because McCormick was tackled for a solid 4 or 5 yard loss. You know, and no matter what else happens.
I think it will very easily be they will decline this, which they do, because it's going to set up a 2nd down and about 15-yard play as opposed to a 1st and 20.
McCormick was tackled at the 31-yard line by Courtney Whitehead. Whitehead with a great defensive coverage out there on the lateral play. So those minus 5 yards for all of you keeping stats at home goes against the running play. As we go under 2 minutes to go here in this first quarter, again, North leads by 1 touchdown. They did not convert on the extra point, however, and lead only 6-0. On 2nd down and about 15, Schlicher will bring his offense up to the line with the I formation set up behind him. Fairfield and Walls as we've seen. Here is Schlicher, fakes the throw, throwing deep, looking for McCormick. McCormick can't get to the ball, and here comes no flag.
And what happened here? The official went to call the flag, Jeff, and I don't know what he's ruling, because in high school football, there is no such thing as an uncatchable ball. If there's any contact, that should draw a flag one way or the other.
Tom, I've never seen it. The back judge literally had his hand in his pocket grasping for the flag and pulled his hand back out. There was another official coming down the side, and whether he overruled him, verbally or whatever, Coach German literally did a 25-yard sprint down the sideline, hollering for his team, but his hollering goes for naught. This is an incomplete pass, so good defensive coverage on that play by Crawfordsville will now force North into a third down and long. One back setup is Fairfield. Schlicher back to throw, sets up the screen, big rush as Schlicher can't get the ball into the hands of his intended receiver, who was Clint Calder. Calder came up from the wide out, a play that is becoming more and more popular after Michigan learned how to run it so well with Desmond Howard a couple years ago. Unable to get both hands on the ball, though. Calder had the ball at the front of his fingertips. I don't know if he'd have been able to pick up 15 or 16 yards anyway.
And Jeff, we talked about the passing game coming into this game. B.J. Schlicher has missed his last 5 passes, and right now Matt Walker is only 1 out of 5 passing on the night.
Flynn and Whitehead drop back deep. They are standing inside their own 35-yard line. Monty Daney will put the ball away via the kick. Puts the high ball up, gets a low kick, which rolls and rolls and rolls across midfield. The ball rolls to the 39-yard line of North Montgomery, but we have a flag at the 46-yard line. There was contact made. I just don't know which way the official is going to see this contact. If it was a clip, a hold.
Very often almost 90% of the time that is going to be against the receiving team, because it's tough for the kicking team to commit a foul in that position.
Daney, as we noted, averaging 35 yards per kick in the first 6 games of the year. Had a very low kick. It's a clipping call against Crawfordsville, and since it happened before possession, before any run back, the yardage will be tacked on to, I believe, the end of the kick. So the ball is about 7 yards deeper than where the flag is. So we'll just see where the mark-off occurs, and the referee now makes the call, and then he dashes for the far sideline. So what he's doing over there, I have no idea. Oh, he's going to go down and step off a 15-yard. He's going to mark off a 15-yard penalty against Crawfordsville, and it looks like he's going to give the ball back to North Montgomery.
He did point to a North Montgomery first down.
If there was no change of possession, the ball is not the receiving team's until the receiving team touches the ball, Jeff. And I've seen this happen before. If the receiving team does not touch the ball, it becomes Charger ball. They accept the penalty, and they take over first down.
Wow, there is an enormous, John.
And I actually, Jeff, have no idea how to stat that play.
That's a penalty. That's a 15-yard penalty
and
against Crawfordsville, and a first down by penalty. Just that simple. As John said, literally by inches.
That's right. They just got it by the nose of.
Actually, it'd be an automatic first. No, it would not a clip.
No, not on a clipping play. As it is, North Montgomery has the ball back. So a weird call goes against Crawfordsville, goes for North, and with a minute plus to go in the first quarter, North gets the ball back after the penalty on the kick. Schlicher puts the ball in play, gives the ball to Walls. Walls breaks the tackle. He's into Crawfordsville territory, gets across the 45-yard line before he is finally hauled down by Jeremy Powell and also Courtney Whitehead coming up from the safety position. A gain of another 10 yards. The referee signals first down for North Montgomery. So they're trying now to take advantage of a big break, as both teams now have been given a golden opportunity on a North Montgomery kicking scenario. It's first down for the Chargers from the Crawfordsville 44. Walls on the wide pitch. Picks up a block again by Fairfield. He'll roll inside the 40-yard line and be hauled out into the Crawfordsville bench on the far side of the field at about the 38-yard line. It is Steve Harris on the tackle for Crawfordsville. The ball will be spotted at about the 38-yard line. But again, John, a great block by Fairfield. Again, leveling a couple of Crawfordsville defenders out there and allowing Walls to go wide.
That's exactly right. Sam Fairfield getting his body carry out and around on the Crawfordsville defender, allowing Jason Walls to turn the corner for some great yardage.
Oh, he's blocked left, and now he's blocked right, and he sprung Walls open for some big yards here, as Walls will pick up statistically about 6, maybe 7 on that carry. It's second down for North with less than 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Schlicher takes the ball, puts it into play, keeps it, does not give the ball to Fairfield, pulls it out of his fullback's belly and keeps it, and then is surrounded by 4 Crawfordsville defenders. You can hear us as one of those guys, but there were 3 others there close by to mop up BJ for a loss of a couple yards, and that'll end our first quarter of play. The clock runs down under 10 seconds to go. The Chargers go 75 yards on their opening possession. They score on a 1-yard BJ Schlicher run, and that's all we've had in the first 12 minutes of play. We'll be back for second quarter action with the Chargers ahead by a touch right after this.
The high school football radio boosters are Horner Pontiac Buick Chrysler, downtown Crawfordsville. That's where you'll find great savings with year-end clearance prices on all 94 cars and trucks. Heilig Myers for all your home furnishing, electronics, and home appliances. Free delivery and easy credit. Heilig Myers, Darlington Avenue, Crawfordsville. Personal finance. Expenses can pile up, and when you need money for any good reason, remember Personal Finance has cash waiting for you. Call 362-7240. And Eder Ford Mercury, Darlington Avenue, Crawfordsville. Trade better, see Eder. Stop by and see the new Ford Contours.
And I certainly have got to give way as I've been berated. Folks, I need some help here. I've been pummeled by my Notre Dame fans here at the start of the second quarter. John, you're right. Not only Desmond Howard, but somebody else ran that wide-out screen pretty well.
It was Lou Holtz and the Rockets that really got that play going in college football.
So much for coaches who don't think that people remember things. Jeff, real quickly, while we're waiting for the change of possession, we'll run down the stats, and it has been all North Montgomery on paper. For North Montgomery, 16 carries, 54 yards. BJ's 2 of 7 passing, 30 yards, 84 total yards, and 6 first downs, and 6 points on the board for the Chargers. For Crawfordsville, 2 carries, a negative 9 yards, 1 of 5 passing for Matt Walker for 9 yards, giving him 0 total yards, no first downs. Both teams have been penalized 2 times in the first quarter.
But it is a 6-0 score, and one play can separate you from those possibilities, as we temporarily lost a signal there where we are back. So again, we remind you that we are just ready to start the second quarter here at North Montgomery High School. Chargers ball on third down. Schlicher rolled back the pass, got flushed out of the pocket. Radakovich chases BJ down and tackles him at about, about 4 or 5 yards short of the first down sticks. We'll unpile everybody there. Again, big Nick Radakovich, the 270-pound senior bookend with 5 sacks, an interception, a fumble recovery, and about 150,000 tackles on the year. Actually, about a 47 tackle number coming into tonight's ballgame. Hustled over from a defensive end position and hauled Schlicher down. Fourth down and about 5 to go for North. Too short to kick, way too far for a field goal attempt, so the Chargers will go for it here. They'll pitch the ball out. Walls can't get around the corner. He'll pick up only a yard at the very most, and North Montgomery will turn the ball back over on downs. Chris Cotton comes up from a cornerback position to slow things down. Nate Adair also there to really run some interference for Crawfordsville's front line, and they will bring Walls down after only a short gain, and North will turn the ball back over to the Athenians on downs here. Again, just underway in the second quarter. Matt Walker will bring his team out. Again, Walker, the senior quarterback, 6-footer, 178 pounds, thrown for 900-plus yards on the season. Also rushed for 3 touchdowns on 78 yards of net rushing on the year. He's been sacked a bunch of times to knock those numbers down a little bit. He's going to throw on first down. He's got Moats open in the flat, and he'll pick up about 5 yards on the short pass play. The first time, Tom, that Crawfordsville has gone to throwing to their running backs, this time specifically to the 171-pound senior Brett Moats. Jason Guinn is there on the tackle, but not before Moats picks up a solid 5 yards.
That is an excellent job, and we know that Matt Walker is one of the better pass possession quarterbacks that we have in this area, and we're going to see that all night long. We're going to see Crawfordsville we're going to see him go to Moats a lot, and we'll also see him go to other people out of the backfield.
And no charge for killing that mosquito. Second down and 5 for the Athenians from their own 44-yard line. Here's the delay, and oh man, there are 7 North Montgomery Chargers. Sam Fairfield was there to make the initial hit as that play went nowhere fast. It was Whitehead on the carry. Monty Daney was there also to help mop things up, but Coach German and defensive crews had sent the full blitz. They had 7 guys coming in, and it just overwhelmed the blocking scheme of Crawfordsville.
And North Montgomery's doing an excellent job of putting everybody up near the line of scrimmage. They've got 2 fast guys deep back, so they won't get burnt long on a play to Flynn, and they use a linebacker to swing out with them, but they're not going to give up these little swing passes for more than 4 or 5 yards at a time.
Loss of 4, 3rd and 9 for Walker. 1 back behind him to help block. Walker drops back to throw, looking for a man, looking for Flynn out on the right side. Can't get the ball to him. Coverage out there by Walls, and we've got late flags in the defensive, or I should say in the offensive backfield. The referee threw the flag. Wait and see what the call is. Here's a personal foul. The personal foul is going to go against North Montgomery, so the Chargers are going to shoot themselves in the foot with a big bullet right there, as it would have been 4th down and long for the Athenians, and a personal foul, 15-yard mark-off against North will give Crawfordsville a 1st down by penalty, and will also put the ball into North Montgomery territory.
I was going to say, and that is the first down of the night for the Athenians, and what you don't want to do when you're doing so well is stopping them. You know, Crawfordsville now is negative 13 yards on the ground. The last thing you want to do is give them any break, which might spring them towards points.
On 1st down, Walker again will bring his offense up. He'll have an I formation set up behind him with Moats and Whitehead. He'll put a man in motion. That's Brian Lynn going towards the near side. And on the delay, here's play action. The screen coming up. Here's a swing pass out to Whitehead. Whitehead breaks the tackle. He's down inside the 40, down to the 35-yard line. And Mike Gerald will come up from behind and pull Whitehead down for a gain of about 10 yards. But Tom has an indication of a penalty.
There's going to be a penalty, Jeff, and it's either going to be a hold or it's going to be an ineligible man downfield, somebody who broke too early off the offensive line to set up that screen play.
The referee with the call coming up, and it is an ineligible receiver downfield. One of the offensive linemen, as Tom said, was out too quickly on the screen, and that's a potential problem in setting up a screen pass, because you want your lineman out there to block. That's literally what the pass is all about, and in this case, one of the Athenians got out too quickly before Whitehead could get the ball on the possession from Walker. So the 5-yard mark-off will take the ball right back to midfield, where Crawfordsville will now face a 1st down and 15. 9:24 to go in the 2nd quarter. North Montgomery leads 6-0.
And on that screen play, it's strictly a timing play. The linemen know to count to a certain number of seconds, and that's when they release and get upfield. And if it's a slow developing play, that's when you pick up that penalty.
Whitehead will move over to the slot on the left side, actually move into a tight end position, and coming over as Crawfordsville puts the man in motion. They'll hand off instead to Moats on the single back set. Moats will pick up only a yard, maybe 2, as he'll be tackled at about the 48-yard line of North Montgomery. Chris Cotton was the man coming in motion from the far to near side. Jason Bowler on the tackle for North Montgomery. Jason with some excellent numbers on the course of the year. 19 tackles and a sack. He also has a 54-yard punt block that went in for a touchdown in the opening game of the season. The big win of North Montgomery's over Sheridan.
You know, Jeff, I know that Crawfordsville tends to pass the ball more than they throw, and they use a lot of possession type of passes out of the backfield, but I'm a little bit concerned for Crawfordsville that they're not trying to establish any more of a running game. It's almost like they're giving up on it before the game ever started.
After a gain of 2 at 2nd down and 13, as the North press box crew is giving my spotter a bad time here now. As Walker puts the ball in play, he is hammered just as he releases the ball. This is Flynn on the catch. Flynn breaks the tackle. He's down inside the 30, down near the 20-yard line. He's hauled out of bounds by Jason Wall. Matt Walker took a real shot from, I believe, Tim Flagg, blitzing from a linebacker's position, but got rid of the ball just before contact was made. And J.D. Flynn showing why he is so dangerous, Tom, and why he is averaging so many yards. He's averaging 14 yards a catch, picks up big yards. As he got open, he spun to the inside, got open to the outside, and then just outraced most of North Montgomery for more yards.
26-yard pickup, 1st down for the Athenians at the 23-yard line of North Montgomery.
Where it is, 1st down. One back offense now set up behind Walker. 4 guys out into the pattern. 2 left, 2 right with the tight end set. Walker taps his center right on the backside and goes right behind him. That is Rod Curran on the center block. He'll move forward, blocking Gerald and Fairfield a little bit, and Walker, who saw something open for a moment, will pick up about 2 yards down to the 20-yard line. We're down under 8 minutes to go here in this first half of a very quickly played football game. Again, the county and conference titles are on the line here tonight. North has already assured themselves of at least a share of the conference championship, can win it outright with a win over Crawfordsville. On second down and long, Walker back to throw, flushed out of the pocket, moves forward, gets back to the line of scrimmage where he is hauled down by Monty Daney. So again, Walker not having very much time to throw, Tom, will give Walker a gain maybe of 1 depending on how generous your spot goes. But Walker had no time to throw as he was flushed out of that pocket. Again, the pass rush important.
I'd say officially no gain on the play, but a good job by Matt Walker of getting himself back to the line of scrimmage because he got himself trapped a little bit and just kind of got himself, when he got hit, fell forward and got to the line of scrimmage.
The nose of the ball is right on the 20-yard line as the clock continues to run, now under 7 minutes and counting here in this second quarter already. Third down and about 7 to go for Crawfordsville. Scoreless thus far in the night. Double set formation. Here's a swing pass out onto the flat. And open for just a moment is J.D. Flynn. No, check that. That is not 80. It is number 11, Whitehead. Whitehead, who flared out from a running back position, took the pass and is going to be tackled down inside the 15-yard line. The referee has stopped the play. He's going to bring the sticks in for a measurement here on third down. Third and very short. John says it's going to be a little short also, and that will give Coach Chevatello and his coaching staff a decision here on fourth down. It'll be 4th and inches. The ball will be sitting at about the 13-yard line of North Montgomery. Do you kick? Do you put Moats out and put almost a guaranteed 3 points up, or do you go for it on fourth down?
I don't think this is guaranteed because the wind is so strong, Jeff. I don't really think this is a guarantee because from here it would be a 30-plus, 31-yard field goal. You have to have confidence in your ability to move the ball on the ground. If you don't, it's going to be a long night for you. If North isn't able to pick up a 4th down and 1 from here, you know, I guess it's one of those things, and although I don't expect them to run the ball, I really expect a little flare pass. I also wait for the officials to start the play clock.
The play clock, and they have not done that.
Apparently we have a timeout.
We have a whistle, and now we do have timeout, as Crawfordsville does elect to take a timeout and decide what they're going to do on fourth down. We'll be back in a half a minute or so.
Look for someone like Courtney Whitehead, who's a little bit bigger than maybe one of the other guys, than maybe a Brett Moats, who has the ability, if he has to. Courtney's a little taller. He can always fall forward that half yard if he needs to pick it up. But I'd look for some sort of flare pass on the outside that could take a 4th and short and turn it into a touchdown for Crawfordsville.
Operating as the ball was actually moved back just a little bit. We're going to call it statistically the 14-yard line. Here comes the fourth down play. 3 wideouts on the set for Walker. He'll do the handoff. He'll give the ball to Moats, and Moats will pick up the first down. Smashing off the left side behind the blocking of Adrian White and Jared Eskew. Jason Bowler has the tackle, but not before Moats picks up enough yards for the first down. The ball will be spotted at the 11-yard line, so we'll call it a gain of a couple on that play for Mr. Moats, and it will be first down and 10 now for Crawfordsville. Actually, Tom, as I look at it now, they unstack everything. We're going to call the ball at the 12.
That's where I have it.
All right.
I don't know where you had it.
Well, sometimes when NCAA and NFL staff, they jump over the hash mark very quickly and go to the next yard up front. This one wasn't quite like that. Whitehead in motion on the pitch. Moats, the ball's on the ground. Moats could not get to the ball in time. Jason Bowler on the fumble recovery. And North Montgomery, who is Tom, did you tell me before we went on the air, a plus 12 in the turnover ratio?
They are plus 12. They are committing 2 more turnovers, or they are getting 2 more turnovers a game, not a season, a game more than their opponent.
Coming into tonight's ball game, Crawfordsville was a plus 4. They had taken away 4 more possessions than they had given up. That number now goes to 3 as the fumble turns the ball over. On first down, Walls on the handoff, works around the left side as the Chargers started actually from about the 20-yard line. Walls will cross the 25, get out to about the 26, and Nick Radakovich will wrap him up at that point in time. So a big emotional up and down for both of these teams, as Crawfordsville had taken a North penalty and was very close to putting points on the board. In fact, they had converted on a big fourth down play. They now give the ball back to North Montgomery, who operates with 5:15 to go in the first half here, leading 6-0. The I formation is set up behind Schlicher. He's going to throw. He's got a man open. This is McCormick. He breaks the tackle. He's near midfield, and the last guy who could have hauled McCormick down does so on the tackle, Ryan Proctor. 2 steps back. Schlicher just gets the ball winged into McCormick, who then goes 23 yards before being hauled down by Proctor. The ball will be spotted at the 49-yard line of North, where it will be first down and 10, and that very nearly, folks, went for about 75 yards and a touchdown. On the first down play, we've got a flood right situation. 3 receivers on this near side. Here's a pass out on the flare on the right side to Walls. Walls will get into Crawfordsville territory. He'll be drugged down by Moats, coming up from a linebacker in a safety position. And Moats on the season, who comes in once in a while. He has about 40 tackles on the year, plays spottingly, but is in this situation. He's now dropping back to free safety. Gain of about 3 on that pass. Schlicher in the shotgun formation. Now throws over the middle again. Walls puts a hand on the ball, turns around as the ball bounces off his fingertips, and Moats puts his shoulder pads right into Walls and makes absolutely sure that Walls was not going to catch that ball. That's the hardest hit I've seen in 2 years.
That's right. It was just an exceptional hit and a great job. Walls had done a good job of knowing where the ball was. He still could have gotten it if Moats had not stepped up and hit him head on and knocked him down.
Had Walls kept possession of the ball before that, I don't know if he'd been able to hang on to it. Moats really laid a lick on him at about the 40-yard line. Third down now and 7 to go. Schlicher in the shotgun. Here's a flag as Schlicher going for McCormick deep, puts the ball down near the 10-yard line, but he overthrows his intended receiver. Double coverage by Crawfordsville, and Schlicher on one knee at his own 45 will now probably be facing the music here. I would venture that Crawfordsville will take the play because it will now be 4th down for the Chargers.
I was going to say this will bring up a 4th down from the 48-yard line. Crawfordsville would get the ball back, and I'm a little bit surprised that North Montgomery went to kind of a hurry-up, no-huddle offense, and I'm sure it was to limit Crawfordsville's defensive substitutions to try and keep control of what they wanted to do with the ball, but it is a bit surprising because North took the ball over with 5:53. North's first drive, the 75-yard touchdown drive, took 5:49. They had plenty of time to go the distance, which was 80 yards, but they chose to go to the hurry-up offense.
With 4:42 to go, Daney drops back into punt formation. He stands at his own 40. J.D. Flynn is deep. He stands at his own 10. With the wind behind him, this one could go out all the way through the end zone as Daney puts a boot into it. It hits at the 5, rolls backwards, and North is down to fall on it. So Monty Daney picks up a 41-yard kick, 6 yards over his average. As I said before, his 35-yard punting average would be good for about 4th in the Big Ten. He sticks Crawfordsville back deep into their own territory. The ball after the bounce will be spotted at the 7-yard line. So a great kick, and you heard Coach German talk about that special teams coverage. Jason Brown was downfield to down the ball, but that ball was never going to get into the end zone, John, because the point dropped right in, just like a good 9-iron shot, and got the backwards spin and came back towards the field of play. So with 4.5 minutes to go, Crawfordsville now looks at a 93-yard drive if they want to get points on the board before the first half ends. Clock moves, 4:24. Walker keeps Moats behind him to block. He'll drop back into his own end zone to throw. He's got a man open on the pass. This is Flynn. He's looked for him all night long. He makes the connection with J.D. Flynn. Jason Walls is there to haul Flynn down. And just as quickly as it's 1st and 10 from the 7, it's now Crawfordsville ball 1st and 10 from their own 31 on a 24-yard pass completion to J.D. Flynn.
J.D. Flynn now, Jeff, has hit his last 4 passes. He is now 5 of 9, 70 yards in the first half.
And did he throw the ball, or did Mr. Walker throw the ball? On first down. You got to get the point. You got to get the stat man once in a while. Walker rolls out to his right on first down, looking again for. He's now blended back into the. Oh, there he comes back. That was. Turn around. Let me see your number. Intended receiver was Kurt Dyson. Sorry, Harvey. Dyson to come out of the backfield was down right in the middle of the Crawfordsville bench as he went off the field after the pass went incomplete, and then he blended into all those white shirts down there. So sorry, John. Second down coming up for North, going from their own 31. Walker back to throw again. Flares it out, looking for Brian Lynn on a little down and in pattern. The pass was a little bit short, and Lynn had to go down to his knees and try and get to the ball, but it skipped right in front of him. It'll be 3rd down and 10 now for Crawfordsville.
And Crawfordsville, as Jeff, is 0 of 3 on 3rd down conversion attempts here in the first half. They have picked up 1 out of the 2 times they've gone for it on 4th down, and that was on a penalty.
Tom, Crawfordsville had minus 9 yards rushing in the first quarter, I believe you had said?
Yes, minus 9, and actually they aren't doing any better, Jeff. They're now up to negative 13 yards rushing in the first half.
So it has been a passing game only for the Athenians here in the first half. Walker on 3rd down and 10. Rolls out on the pattern. Looking again for J.D. Flynn. Coverage by James Guinn, though, is awfully complete, and the pass is about a yard ahead of Flynn's outstretched fingertips, and it'll be 4th down and 10, and now Crawfordsville will have to kick the ball away via Mr. Brett Motes.
And this Crawfordsville possession to this point, Jeff, has only taken 43 seconds off the clock. 3:50 left to go. North Montgomery could, if they're averaging on punt returns this year right about 12 yards, so they could get the ball back close to midfield with roughly 3.5 minutes left to go. Plenty of time with the wind to put points back up on the board.
Jason Waltz has returned nearly all of the punts for North Montgomery. He does have that 12-yard average, as Tom said. Motes gets a foot into it. He puts it away at about the 20. The deep back is Fairfield. Fairfield will just bull straight ahead. He'll pick up about 5, maybe about 6 yards, and he'll be put down at the 41-yard line. And so with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go, North Montgomery gets the ball back, leading by a score of 6-0. Again, this has really turned into a different first half, because on the first possession, if you just tuned in or if you tuned away for a little while, Crawfordsville kicked off to North. The Chargers went 75 yards in 12 plays and scored on a 1-yard B.J. Schlicher run, and that is basically all the offense we've seen. We've had a couple of pass plays and very little running from either team. On first down from their own 41-yard line, Schlicher hands off. Fairfield has an opening on the left side, but it is quickly closed up after a gain of only a couple yards. Wait and get the stack there so John can get us a couple of tacklers. That's Kyle Vaught on the tackle for Crawfordsville. We'll give Mr. Fairfield a gain of a long one to the 43-yard line.
Jeff, you talk about how North Montgomery Crawfordsville has not done much running tonight, but for North Montgomery, they do have Jason Walls, 10 carries for 67 yards.
And they have not thrown the ball, though, quite as well as they had earlier in the season, averaging about 150 yards passing and running per game. Second down now, 9 coming up for the Chargers. The I formation for Schlicher. Here's a quick pass, batted down there on the front line. Nate Adair had the bat down for Crawfordsville on a left defensive end position. Jason McCormick was the intended receiver out here on the right side. So now North faces a long 3rd down play coming up, as both teams, Tom, have thrown the ball much more extensively than I had ever anticipated before this game started. We've had lots of clock stoppages because of the incomplete passes. We still have 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the first half.
I've been really surprised that they've thrown so much, especially for North, because Walls had 62 yards on the ground in the first quarter alone and only has 2 rushing attempts here in the second quarter.
Out of the spread formation, Schlicher has no time to throw and nobody to throw to, as he is surrounded by about 4 white-shirted Athenians rushing in. Nate Adair will pick up the sack, and it'll be 4th down and long. Also, Jeremy Powell was in on the tackle and the sack, and we've got a whistle, or I should say a flag. We've got an unsportsmanlike conduct call now against North Montgomery. So the sack will lose about 8 yards, and then another 15 yards is going to be tacked on to the end of that play. So that'll make it 4th down and about 100, and Monty Daney will have all the yards he wants to work with. He can kick it as far as he wants, because he'll be putting the ball away at about his own 10 now, which changes the whole emphasis of this last couple minutes.
I was going to say, and they're going to end up getting pretty good field position themselves with their last chance here with 2:27 left to go. Jeff, coming into the game, the Athenians had sacked their opponents 15 times for 89 yards.
Flynn and Whitehead are deep as that sack by Adair and others, coupled with another 15-yard penalty. So the penalty bug has really bit North badly here in this first half. As I said, Daney is deep. He is actually standing at his own 5. Whitehead, Flynn at their own 45. Daney gets a good high kick away. It drives Flynn all the way back to his own 39-yard line. And he's got room to move. He'll bring the ball into North territory, but we've got a major flag at about midfield. 3 different officials threw the flag. I think we're going to have a hold on that, Tom, or an illegal use of the hand on the return. Kevin Templeman has the tackle, but about an extra 15 yards of that run back is going to be for naught because the flags are laying at the 45-yard line of Crawfordsville.
And once again, Monty Daney, Jeff, just upping his average, a 44-yard punt. They're going to get a 6-yard return on the play out to the 45, and then they'll go 15 yards back from that on the clip, and Crawfordsville will take possession on about their own 30, 2:04 left to go in the half.
So both teams, again, really inflicting major damage to themselves. Crawfordsville would have had excellent field position after the good return, and now they will find themselves deep in their own territory. They'll be going from about their own 30, well, actually they'll be inside the 30. They'll be at about their own 28-yard line to start this drive. We have 2:04 to go in the first half. Crawfordsville trails North Montgomery by a score of 6-0.
And now they're going to mark it at the 32 or 33.
Okay,
so it's going to be like a 13-yard penalty.
Yeah, well, actually, Tom, what you can call
we'll just change where they threw the flag from.
That's right.
I've been doing this for weeks.
That's how you make the stats work. Crawfordsville ball, 1st and 10, as Tom mentioned, from their own 33-yard line. Walker brings his offense up. He does have a couple of timeouts left to use, should he so desire it. He puts all kinds of receivers out, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Keeps Moats into block. He flushes out to the left side. He's going to run for the out-of-bounds marker and get to the north sideline at about the 37-yard line. So Walker will pick up 5 or 6. He's forced out of bounds by Flag and others, and it will stop the clock with 1:50 to go now in the first half.
North Montgomery doing a good job of not giving up those receivers out of the backfield, and Walker's just not used to that. You can tell because he's used to always having a release man. North does a good job of sliding a linebacker in to cover his third or his out option, and that's when he has to scramble.
2nd down. We'll call it 5 to go from the 37. Walker puts Flynn in motion to the far side. Keeps Moats in the block. Looking to throw to Moats. Now throws deep on the counter pattern up. Oh, and Flynn with the catch, and he's going to go all the way for the touchdown. J.D. Flynn got behind coverage. Schlicher on the coverage. 63 yards on the touchdown. J.D. Flynn just blew by Schlicher. He was the last man to cover for North Montgomery, and the 67-yard pass and run will put Crawfordsville on the board. We're tied at 6 with 1:40 to go. Flynn just exploded down that right sideline. Walker on the on the hitch, faked the short throw, threw long. Flynn ran right underneath it and carried out the play. That was a nice looking play. 67 yards again, and we're tied at 6. Moats will kick the PAT. He'll swing a right foot into it and get it. And Crawfordsville, with 1:40 to go in the first half, takes their first lead on a long pass play from Walker to J.D. Flynn. We'll be back with the drives charts right after this.
The high school football radio boosters are Miller Body and Cook Heating and Air, featuring Idaho Energy from Indiana Gas and York Energy Efficient Gas Furnaces. Call Cook at 362-5300 in the community serving the community. And by Paradise Donuts in their new location at 821 South Washington Street in Crawfordsville. Open 5 a.m. to 2 p.m., 7 days a week, except holidays.
All right, thank you very much, Guy. As the boosters spot runs a little long, we come back at the end of the kickoff. Sean Spitznagel Spitznagel, on the return. He'll bring the ball up to about the 44-yard line, where B.J. Schlicher will have a minute and a half to go, should he and the offense decide to try and go for it here. Now North trailing by a point. We'll get again the drive chart from Tom. Also some interesting stats as J.D. Flynn scores his third touchdown of the season on the longest passing play of Crawfordsville's season. Schlicher on first down, looking to throw. He's got McCormick open and can't get the ball to him. Overthrowing the intended receiver, Jason McCormick, with coverage from Brian Miller. That would have gone for 6 had the ball been down about 3 feet.
Going back to the Crawfordsville drive, Jeff, it was only a 2-play drive. It traveled 68 yards, 24 seconds. It was a 63-yard pass play and run. Matt Walker to J.D. Flynn. Moats adds the extra point at 7-6 Crawfordsville. Moats now over 1,000 yards passing on the night. He's 6 of 13, 133 yards.
And actually, I think that's Mr. Walker, who is over 1,000 yards
you're right.
passing. We'll go from there. On second down, Schlicher forced out of the pocket, runs for his life. He's to midfield. He'll be hauled down from behind by Nate Adair, and that will keep the clock moving. North Montgomery will be looking at third down and about 5 now, right from midfield, as we get down to 1:01. 1 minute now remaining in the first half. Schlicher works out of the spread. 3 receivers out wide to the right side. Schlicher calls for the ball, gets it, puts the ball out into Walls. Walls open. He's at the 45 to the 40. He's got the first down. He's rolled out of bounds, and we've got a late flag. Well, Tom, the seeds that Charlie German planted in the first quarter may have just sprouted into 15 yards, because in the first quarter, as you mentioned, Coach German asking for a late flag, a late hit flag. Well, he's going to get one right there.
That's going to be a 12-yard pickup on the pass play, Jeff, and then you're going to tack onto that, or maybe a 13-yard pickup. You're going to tack 15 on a late hit. North is going to go right up. You still got just under 48 seconds left to go, and now we're going to have a North team that is going to be well deep into Crawfordsville territory, all the way down to the 23-yard line.
And North also has all 3 timeouts remaining. Thank you, John. The ball operates now at the 23-yard line. It'll be first down for North Montgomery. Schlicher again working out of the spread. 3 receivers wide to the right side. Schlicher again calls for the ball, gets it, drops back to throwing left. Now he's over the middle. He's got McCormick open. McCormick's at the 10. He's inside the 10-yard line. He'll have a first down, and it'll be first and goal, so the clock will stop. Brian Miller on defensive coverage for Crawfordsville. So North now quickly moving down the field after Crawfordsville took their first lead of the ball game at 7-6. And now will we see North call timeout? We've got a referees conference.
They're waving off a flag.
They're waving off a flag. I never saw it fall in the first place, so we're not going to worry about it. We do have timeout on the field. John is right. North Montgomery has taken their first timeout of this first half. We have 38 seconds remaining. We'll be back with the first down call. First and goal for North right after this. It said that the pass from Walker to Flynn was 67 yards. It was 63 yards, folks. It went from the 37-yard line for 63 yards. First and goal now for North Montgomery. They'll go from the Crawfordsville 10-yard line. Out of the spread, Schlicher throwing for the end zone. McCormick open, touchdown. Jason McCormick is open, has the touchdown, and now there is a very late flag. I don't think that this flag is going to have anything to do with the score, because I think what happened is one of the Crawfordsville players baited one of the North players and got a flag. We have an unsportsmanlike call.
It'll be on the kickoff.
Right. So anyway, we'll quickly get the drive set up here as North Montgomery now scores with 33.3 seconds to go. It's a 10-yard pass to Jason McCormick on first down, and the all-important extra point attempt will be coming up. And now the kickoff time is not going to be where the penalty is assessed,
and that's a break for North Montgomery.
Yeah, it is,
because it would have given Crawfordsville great field position.
And instead of probably going for 2 points, North now has themselves a serious problem, because they've got to go for the extra point from the 18-yard line. North calls timeout, and John, we'll keep it each time to get the clock stopped, without having to burn a lot of timeout. So they just did. It was a very smart, very good-looking, 2-minute drive. The extra point attempt is coming up now for North Montgomery.
Look for North to drop kick, Jeff.
Maybe. Schlicher is working out of the spread. He stands at his 25-yard line. Back to throw. Here comes the blitz. Hit just as he releases the ball. The ball thrown out of the end zone, and the pass incomplete. The extra point attempt is no good. So actually, North took a little time off the clock.
I was going to say that was awfully nice of them. They took roughly 1.2 seconds left, and I would expect Crawfordsville's coaching staff to say something, and the officials are now looking at the clock and conferring with the referee down on the field, and I think they will call up here and ask to have that time put back on the clock.
33.3.
Drive time, Jeff. 56-yard, 4 plays, a minute, 7 seconds. B.J. Schlicher, Jason McCormick on the drive. B.J. was 3 of 3. And on the drive, he picked up 37 yards through the air. 2 of those catches were to Jason McCormick, including the touchdown pass.
And just as we noted, Tom, they are going to put a couple of seconds back up on the clock. As we had said, there was 33.3 seconds left on the clock when the touchdown was scored.
And they've taken more time off the clock.
And they're conferring through the coach's headphones down on the sidelines. And we'll just again, note that Crawfordsville took the lead with a minute 40 to go in the second quarter on a 63-yard pass from Matt Walker to J.D. Flynn. The Moats kick made it a 7-6 ball game. Then North Montgomery, as Tom just alluded to, went 56 yards in 4 plays in only a minute plus to score and take the lead here just before halftime. North with the kickoff. Flynn will pick the ball up at about his own 11-yard line. He'll move back towards the middle of the field and be tackled after a gain of only a couple yards. Again, Jason Brown is down on special teams coverage for North Montgomery. He was the guy who was down and covered a 44-yard kick by Monty Daney. Cervantes put the deep kickoff down to about the 10-yard line. The ball spotted at the 18-yard line where Crawfordsville will have it. First down and 10. And the officials put the ball down and put the clock in motion. Coach Chavatello, I'm sure, will probably, I'm not even going to guess. I was going to say he may just hand the ball off one time or down the ball with Walker, but the way this game has gone, anything could happen. And Walker does do that. He'll down the ball on one knee, and that will end our first half of play. A great beginning, a great ending, and not much in the middle, but at halftime it is North Montgomery leading Crawfordsville by a score of 12-7 as we now get down to 2:10 seconds to go. Both teams leave the field. We'll take a break ourselves. We'll be back with halftime right after this. Jeff Nelson, glad to have you here on a beautiful Friday night for high school football. And John, the Wabash tape delay, we're going to try and tie in the Big Ten games, both IU and Purdue who get coverage on either the AM or the FM. So lots and lots of sports action next weekend to try and take care of. And as I said, we'll just stay tuned. We'll go from there. North will kick the ball away. Crawfordsville will get the ball here to start the second half of play. Cervantes will put a toe into it, and we're underway here in the third quarter. Back deep is Flynn. Flynn has to pick it up at about his 5 after it bounces away. He's out to the 10, changes field. He's going to be put down at about the 15, 16-yard line. Jason Guinn is down on special teams coverage. Tom, that play just did not develop. The return did not develop very well because the ball got by Flynn. He had to retreat field back to about the 5-yard line and start all over.
Great job by North's kick coverage tonight, Jeff. Crawfordsville came into the game averaging just under 20 yards per kickoff return, and J.D. Flynn has gone 10, 8, and 9 on his 3 returns so far tonight. So North has done a good job of kicking away from him on the ground and getting their coverage team down and wrapping up the open field tackle.
On first down, deep in their own territory, inside their own 15-yard line. We're going to call the ball at about the 14-yard line. Crawfordsville will start out. Quarterback Matt Walker, the senior, who passed the 1,000-yard mark for the season with his 134 yards passing. There was 133 yards, Tom, passing in the first half. He's got Moats and Whitehead behind him. The running game, not a factor at all for Crawfordsville in the first half. Walker rolls out to throw. He's got a man open. This is Moats. Moats will take the pass at about the 20-yard line. It'll be good for about 5 yards, maybe 6. B.J. Schlicher, the outside linebacker, is there for coverage, but Moats would have been down. He went down to his knee and slid as he caught the ball. So Crawfordsville comes out throwing to their backs right away.
And it's what we expected. That's what Harvey talked about at halftime. But it was one of those passes that it was either going to be caught by Moats or it was going to be incomplete. Good pressure by North again to make Walker throw it maybe a split second before he wanted to.
Brian Lynn splits out wide to the left side. One back setup. That is Moats behind Walker. Staying in the block. Throwing out deep on the flat. This is Lynn. He's got the ball at the 40. It's a foot race to the end zone. Will he make it? He will. He'll go all the way on the touchdown. 80 yards. Brian Lynn. His third touchdown of the season-long play for Crawfordsville. Walker and Brian Lynn put Crawfordsville back on top, and lightning strikes twice. 63 yards from Walker to Flynn in the first half. 80 yards from Walker to Lynn early in the third quarter.
And both Athenian drives, Jeff, have been drives of 2 plays.
So much for the old time of possession theory. The extra point attempt coming up. Moats on the Walker spot. Chips one up and chips one good. 2 TDs, 2 extra points for Crawfordsville. They take the lead quickly here in the third quarter, and we'll be back with Crawfordsville's kickoff right after this.
You've been listening to local high school football.
Sure, this time Crawfordsville went 86 yards, 2 plays, a minute 4, 80-yard pass and run combination to Brian Lynn from Matt Walker. Once again, Brett Moats adds the extra point. It's 14-12. Crawfordsville, 10:55 left to go.
Matt Walker now goes over 200 yards passing for the Knights. McCormick at the 15 takes the kickoff. Picks up a block to the 25. He's at the 30-yard line. Crosses the 30-yard line. It'll be drugged down by special teams coverage of Crawfordsville. Coming up off the stack, Steve Harris has the tackle. Also, Mike Inskeep is in on the hit for the Athenians. The ball is spotted at the 32-yard line where B.J. Schlicher will bring his offense out for the first time in this second half.
One thing that North defense has done tonight, Jeff, is they've given up 2 huge plays. They've probably only given up 1 big play all year before this.
Can't deny that. And there were two big strikes by 1 big run, 1 big pass by Frankfurt. I know had them behind at some point in time. On first down, it'll be Sam Fairfield on the handoff. Kyle Vaught on the hit for Crawfordsville. We'll give Fairfield a gain of about 3 or so out to the 36-yard line.
I was going to say, the only other time where North has done that is they were down 2 touchdowns early, down 12-0 to Frankfurt at Frankfurt in the first 5 minutes of the game, but bounced back for the big win.
Came back to win that ball game. Again, they are rebounding from last week's 6-0 loss here at home to McCutcheon, trailing now 14-12. Back to throw on second down. Schlicher's pass was partially tipped. I believe Vaught may have gotten a hand on the pass. He had his arms upstretched after the play was done, looking like the happiest guy out on the field. It'll set up a 3rd down and 7 call now for Charlie German, Scott Kegley, and the North offensive coaching staff. Bringing the play in for North will be Tyler Fuller. He will then bring the play and split wide out to the right side. Single back set is Fairfield behind Schlicher from the 36-yard line. The Chargers trailing on their first possession of the second half. Schlicher back to throw. Got a man open over the middle. Walls on the catch. Will pick up the first down. The hit is by Brian Proctor. That is exactly the same play that in the second quarter Brett Moats separated Mr. Walls from possession of the ball, or almost separated him from his helmet. That was on a major hit. Pickup of about 10 yards on that from the 36 out to the 46. North Montgomery picks up a first down on the 3rd down conversion. On first down, Schlicher looking to throw. Back side of the pocket, throws out onto the flat. He's got McCormick open. And McCormick will be run out of bounds inside the 25-yard line of Crawfordsville. So now all of a sudden, we're moving up and down the field in great big chunks of turf. McCormick turned Crawfordsville's defensive coverage inside and then spun outside. 32 yards on the pass and run combination from Schlicher to McCormick.
And on that play, B.J. Schlicher goes over 1,000 yards passing on the season.
2 prolific passers here in operation tonight. As Tom just noted, both Matt Walker and B.J. Schlicher now over 1,000 yards passing for the season. Fairfield on the first down call will haul the ball down near the 20-yard line. It'll be a gain of 2, maybe 3 yards, depending on the spot, as the clock continues to run with 9:20 to go in the third quarter. Crawfordsville leads North here, 14-12. They opened up the third quarter by nailing an 80-yard touchdown strike from Matt Walker to Brian Lynn. On second down, North will bring the I formation out, set it up behind Schlicher. They'll put 2 wideouts to the left side. Schlicher over center, asks for the ball, gets it, hands it off to Walls. Walls will work his way down near the 15-yard line, and it'll set up a third down call now for North Montgomery. They converted on a big third down call earlier on this drive. On the tackle for Crawfordsville, we've got Jeremy Powell coming up from a defensive end position.
That's only the third carry for Jason Walls after picking up the 62 yards on 8 carries in the first quarter.
All right. Third down and a long 3 coming up for the Chargers. Again, the I set, whistle, flags. I don't think it'll be a delay. I think it's going to be a procedure call, and here it is. The walk-off will go against North. Tom, what again were the penalty yards at halftime?
The 55 against the Chargers and 40 against Crawfordsville. But, 3 of those penalties, and all 3 in the second quarter, were 15-yarders against the Athenians.
And I believe all 3 of them were unsportsmanlike conduct calls, too. At least I know 2 of them were.
Oh, yeah, one may have just been another personal foul, like a late hit.
Okay. Which in anybody's book can border on unsportsmanlike conduct. After the 5-yard mark-off, it'll now be third down and a long 8 to go. Schlicher will work out of the spread formation. He'll keep both running backs into block for him, at least momentarily. He calls for the ball, gets it. Harassed, he's got a man open. Guinn's got it and can't hang on to the ball. Schlicher didn't have much time to throw. John Lamb had good coverage on Guinn. And once again, North Montgomery has shown a tendency tonight, Tom, of throwing to their tight end.
Oh, they really have, and they've done a good job. And maybe because North didn't see it on the film last week where they went away from it, that weapon is now available. Difference here between North Montgomery and Crawfordsville. In this same situation, trailing by 2 points, down at the 21-yard line with the wind at their back, Crawfordsville would more than likely attempt the field goal. North is going to go for it on fourth down.
With 7:58 on the clock, and the clock stops. Schlicher works again out of the spread formation, the shotgun, if you will. He's got a long 8, almost 9 yards to pick up here on fourth down. Not much time to throw. He's got a man open, flashing across the middle, and unable to keep a hand on the ball is Walls. Walls dives out near the 6-yard line. Would have been enough yards for the first down, but he did not hang on to the ball. Good coverage by Crawfordsville, and the Athenians defense holds here on downs and turns the ball back over to Crawfordsville's offense with 7:55 to go. The ball will be spotted at the 21-yard line. Crawfordsville has 1 score here already in the second half. Walker will put a pro set formation, I believe, for the first time behind him. He'll drop back to throw again. He's got Lynn open at the 25. Lynn will go no farther than where he catches the ball. Tyler Fuller will come up from a cornerback position to haul him down for a gain of about 4 yards. It'll set up second down now for Crawfordsville, and all of a sudden, Tom, I see North's cornerbacks playing a little tighter coverage on Lynn and Flynn.
I was going to say, Jeff, after starting out the game 1 of 5, Matt Walker now 8 of his last 11, 219 yards and a pair of TDs.
He calls for the ball on second down and about 6. He does not get a handoff away. In fact, just does get the handoff away, as very nearly putting the ball on the ground. Crawfordsville's running play on that particular instance did not work out. Courtney Whitehead just managed to maintain control of the ball. Mike Geralds was there to really mess things up for North. It'll be a loss of about a yard or so. The ball will be spotted at the 24-yard line, where it'll be third down and long now for Crawfordsville. Walker will set one back out behind him and flood the zone with wide receivers. He'll put Flynn in motion to the far side. He'll take the snap, roll out. He's hit just as he releases the ball, and this one's intercepted. Walls has it at midfield. He needs a block. He gets one. He's at the 40, the 35, and he's hauled down at about the 34-yard line of Crawfordsville. J.D. Flynn is in on the tackle after the return, but The ball a little underthrown, and Jason Walls with the interception is his 4th interception of the season. He then also gets about a 14-yard return. They're going to rule his knee came down at the 36, and North will have it 1st and 10 in excellent field position. Schlicher will bring his offense out and set up in the shotgun formation. He'll flood the zone to the right side. He gets the ball, throws it out on the flat. Here's Walls. Walls can't hang on to the pass, and the ball will go incomplete.
And Jeff, going back to the interception thrown by Matt Walker, once again, North got the pressure up front. You talk about the pass being underthrown. He had to throw off his back foot and into this wind that just held up. And North has so many guys back because, I mean, to this point, Crawfordsville still negative yardage on the ground that they can flood more guys back into the deep zone. Jason Walls, good read, and as you said, his 4th pickoff of the year.
2nd down and 10 call coming up now for the North offense. 6:12 to go in the 3rd quarter. North Montgomery trailing Crawfordsville here at home by 2 points, 14-12. Schlicher over center, and the I formation set up behind him. Hands the ball off to Walls. Walls will get only a yard or 2. He is stacked up inside by the middle of the Crawfordsville front line. We see number 72 up there. That's Kyle Vaught is in on the tackle. Adair is also there on the hit for the Athenians. It'll now be 3rd down. We'll call it 9 to go. The ball just inside the 35-yard line. If you just tuned in a second ago, North Montgomery got the ball back on an interception, the 2nd Crawfordsville turnover of the night. So now North Montgomery is what, Tom? Plus 14 in the takeaway, giveaway?
Correct.
Ratio for the season. On 3rd down, Schlicher rolls to his right, pitches off to Walls. Walls gets one block. He gets down near the 25-yard line, but he will not have 1st down yardage as he is hauled down by Crawfordsville. Adair over there and others, also Harris there, to bring down the pitch. North has run that play extensively this year, Tom. I think that's the first time we saw Schlicher go out on the option. That is going to pitch the ball.
And I'm sure that's exactly why Crawfordsville did not allow BJ to take it, and why once that outside linebacker steps in to attack BJ is when he went for the pitch. And Walls is a pretty good guy you'd want to pitch it to.
He picks up about 8 yards, and it'll be 4th down and a long one to go for North Montgomery. The clock winds down. We're under 5 minutes to go. Look for Schlicher possibly to run right behind center Kyle Burke. Stacked up line, only one tight end though, 2 wide outs to the left side. Schlicher hands off to Fairfield. Fairfield is met at the initial line of scrimmage.
And if that far side judge has the spot, then it is not a 1st down.
Yeah, neither side judge has the ball even close to the 25-yard line, which is North almost has to get to the 25, and I don't know if they're even going to measure this one. This will probably turn the ball over to Crawfordsville. In fact, the referee has even called the North team captains over to ask them if they want a spot. If they want it measured, and they do. That'll give us a chance to remind everybody that, if you missed us at halftime, we've got lots of football action tomorrow. Both Purdue and IU looking for big Big Ten wins. Purdue obviously on the heels of a huge road win at Illinois last week. IU hung on via Minnesota turnovers to get a Big Ten win at home. They are at Iowa tomorrow in a must-win scenario for the Hoosiers.
I was going to say, if we're talking about big games, your alma mater, Jeff, has the biggest game of the season for them.
That's
South
right.
Dakota State travels up to North Dakota State. South Dakota State ranked 17th in Division II.
Mm-hmm.
North Dakota State ranked 2nd behind only North Alabama, the defending Division II national champs.
They bring the chains out. North is short by about half a yard. It is Crawfordsville ball. 4.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. The Athenians lead by 2. Walker holds one back in behind him. That's Whitehead to block. He put the pass out onto the flat, and the ball is intended out there for J.D. Flynn. Flynn has the ball, goes off his hands high. Jason Walls was there on coverage, and Tom, the ball got tipped up high enough that a couple of Chargers almost had a chance to run over there and possibly pick it up. And had they done that, there was nobody there for 20 yards. It would have been a touchdown.
I was going to say, maybe another half step where he didn't have to try and make a dive for it. If he catches it in stride, that is easily 6 points and the lead back for North Montgomery. But as it is, it's 2nd and 10 for Crawfordsville.
From the 26-yard line, Walker again floods the zone to the right side with wide receivers. He now brings Flynn in motion to the near side. Walker on the delay, hands the ball off. This is Moats. Moats has room. He's to the 40, to the 50. It's a foot race right down the middle of the field. Moats has an angle to the 20, to the 15. Hauled down from behind by Jason Walls. On the delay, another big play. A 60-yard run for Brett Moats. His season-long by 28 yards. His previous season-long this year, a 32-yard run. Moats scampers 60. He picked up a huge block at about the north 35-yard line. Picked up another 15 yards. Hauled down from behind. Crawfordsville 1st down and 10. They will move from the north 13-yard line. Walker over center. Puts Whitehead in motion. Drops back to throw. Throws it out onto the flat. He's got Lynn open at the 10. Lynn will be wrapped up and put down after a short gain. Ryan Lynn, who has an 80-yard touchdown catch to his credit already, was tackled by Tyler Fuller.
And Brian Lynn came into the game, Jeff, with only 5 catches for 98 yards and a couple of TDs, but he's caught the last 3 passes from Matt Walker, all of them coming in this quarter, the first of which was that 80-yard touchdown.
And as you know, big games, you sometimes see big heroes coming out of nowhere. Guys who over the year have not had big numbers or big games come up with one in the big county matchup. Gain of a couple for Crawfordsville, just outside the 10-yard line. Walker on a timing pattern looking for J.D. Flynn. The pass is tipped up in the air and batted away. Flynn is covered tight by Jason Walls. The clock will stop with 3:01 to go in the third quarter. So Crawfordsville, after being deep in their own territory, now down and knocking on the door again. They will have a 3rd down and 8 call coming up here as they operate from the north 11-yard line.
And if you're a North fan, Crawfordsville is yet to complete a 3rd down conversion on the game, Jeff. They are 0 of 5.
Splitting out wide to the left side for Crawfordsville is Chris Cotton. Walker back to throw. Not much time to get rid of it, and now bounces it in front of J.D. Flynn. Flynn was sliding at about the 5-yard line, covered by Jason Guinn. It would not have been enough yards for a 1st down.
Go back 1 week for this North defense who gave up the big play against McCutcheon and then gave up the bigger play on the 15-yard trap down to the 5-yard line before giving up the penalty. This time, they give up the big play, but they bend, don't break, and now it's a 4th down for Crawfordsville. The defense learned from its mistake last week.
Moats is in to attempt the field goal. Moats will sidewind it from the far hash mark. Walker on the spot. This will be a 27-yard field goal, which is good. Splits the uprights right down the middle against the wind. Brett Moats has given Crawfordsville a 5-point margin. The Athenians lead 17-12, and we'll be back with Crawfordsville's kickoff right after this.
Hey, Montgomery County. This is Scott. See you soon at County Market, your one-stop place to shop.
After the Brett Moats 27-yard field goal, North will get the ball back, now trailing by their biggest margin of the night. 2:54 to go here in this third quarter. Jason McCormick and Jason Walls back deep. They stand at their own 15-yard line, getting ready to get the kickoff. As there's a different guy kicking the ball. The ball bounces deep at about the 10-yard line. Walls picks it up. He has to retreat to his own 7. He brings it back up. He's outside the 15, outside the 20-yard line, or he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. On that kickoff for Crawfordsville was Nick Radakovich, kicking left-footed and put the ball just end over end. Steve Harris has the tackle for Crawfordsville, and North Montgomery will put the ball in play, operating from their own 23-yard line.
On the scoring drive, Jeff, Crawfordsville went 62 yards, 6 plays, 144, officially a 28-yard field goal by Brett Moats to give them the 17-12 lead, 2:40 left to go here in the third quarter.
We may have to go back and look at the videotape. I don't think it was 20.
Well, they spotted the ball from the 12, so it'd be tough to be a 27.
Yeah, I don't think it was there. Anyway, on 1st down, North Montgomery has the ball. Schlicher back to throw. He's being harassed. He gets rid of it just as he is hit, and the ball intended for his tight end, Jason Guinn again, but Gwynn's got to go up high and can't bring the ball down. Proctor on coverage for Crawfordsville.
Excuse me, when you're working on Saturday, do they argue with the stat man?
Yes, they do. But they're
Big Ten.
Yeah.
Well, I know they do on Sundays, but
No, they never do. They never do.
So just be quiet and be the talent.
All right. Boy, there's a loose use of a term. Incomplete on the pass, makes it 2nd down and 10 for North Montgomery. 2:25 to go in the 3rd quarter. Pro set formation set up behind Schlicher. Wideouts 1 to each side. 2-step drop. Out on the flat, here's McCormick. McCormick can't shake loose a tackler. It's hauled down at about the 30-yard line. Chris Cotton is the tackler out there, and it'll set up now a 3rd down and short call for Coach Charlie German and his offense. The ball will be spotted just across the 30, and it'll be 3rd down and probably about 1.5 yards, 2 yards to go here for North Montgomery, trailing by 5.
5th catch for 87 yards now for Jason McCormick. B.J. Schlicher now 143 yards in the air.
North on the night. 3rd down conversions, Tom, not tremendous, but they have picked up a couple of big 3rd down calls. Tight set formation. Schlicher throws the ball out on the flat. Here's Walls. Walls has the 1st down. He's across the 35-yard line. The tackle is Proctor, again up from a safety spot to put Walls down, but not before Walls picks up plenty of yards for the 1st down. North running a play, Tom, I don't remember seeing that one before this year, at least not out of that set, where Schlicher takes the ball, rolls out to his right, and then throws almost a little shovel pass straight ahead to Walls, who then just uses some flat-out speed to get around the tacklers and pick up the 1st down. Out to the 39-yard line, where it'll be 1st down now for Schlicher and the Chargers. We're down to 1:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. Schlicher takes the snap. 3-step drop, looking for his tight end. He's got Guinn open. He's in the Crawfordsville territory. He breaks the tackle, and he'll go all the way for the 6. 62 yards on the pass play. Tight end James Guinn has his 4th touchdown of the season. And big plays become the norm here at North Montgomery High School tonight as the Chargers come up with a big play.
And Jeff, that's the 3rd catch for Jason Guinn. He had the first 2 catches of the night for BJ back in the 1st quarter. A 62-yard touchdown pass gives him 92 yards receiving. He is now the North Montgomery answer to J.D. Flynn and Brian Lynn for the Athenians.
North Montgomery takes the lead back by 1, 18-17. They'll go for 2. Fairfield lines up behind Schlicher, who calls for the ball. Gets it, rolling out, throwing it to the corner of the end zone. Good to Jason Walls. You can hear a happy North Montgomery crowd right down here below us. The Chargers have taken the lead back. It's been a seesaw affair. 20-17 is our score. We'll be back with North's kickoff right after this.
The High School Football Radio Boosters, Arlington Avenue, Crawfordsville. Trade better, see Etter. Stop by and see the new Ford Contours.
Back at North Montgomery, where the Chargers have jumped back on top of the lead, 20-17 on a 78-yard, 4-play drive. It took 1 minute and 18 seconds. The big touchdown play, 62-yard pass and run. Jason Guinn ran through one defender and outran the rest for the big touchdown. B.J. Schlicher hit Jason Walls for the 2-point conversion. It is 20-17, 1:36 left to go, and North Montgomery ready to kick to the Athenians.
As Cervantes puts a toe into it. He'll kick it down to about the 13-yard line. J.D. Flynn has it. He comes cross field to about the 15 and is upended at about the 17 or 18-yard line. So again, Crawfordsville will be deep in their own territory, but they have gone on long drives before. They've gone 62 yards just recently for a field goal. They went 86 yards for a touchdown. They also went about 68 yards for their first score. So long drives have been the norm here tonight for both of these teams. We're down to the final minute and a half of the 3rd quarter. Crawfordsville has the ball, 1st and 10 on their own 19. Walker over center. One back behind him, 2 wideouts to the left. Walker looking to throw left, looking for J.D. Flynn, and can't get the ball to him. The ball off the fingertips of Flynn as Jason Guinn and Kevin Templeman are there on coverage for North Montgomery.
And Jeff, coming into tonight's game, the last thing we expected was to see North Montgomery pass, and we knew that Crawfordsville would do it and especially after the first quarter when North Montgomery had such great success on the ground, did you expect to see them go away from that? Right now it's working. They have a 3-point lead.
James Guinn did a nice job of getting open and staying open. He also spun away from a couple of tacklers. That play probably should have only gone from about 15 yards. As it is, it goes for a touchdown. On second down, here's a pass out to Moats, out on the flat on the left side. He'll haul the ball in. He'll get a first down out across the 30-yard line. James Guinn is on the tackle, as is Jason Walls for North Montgomery, but not before the big senior from Crawfordsville picks up another first down for the Athenians. It'll stop the clock with 1:01 to go here in the third quarter. The ball will be spotted at the 31. Again, if you just joined us, it's been a wild and wacky game.
This is going to set up to be one of those great finishes.
I got to make sure we flip the tape for the fourth quarter. On first down, Walker, two-step drop. He's got Lynn open in a flat. Lynn almost shakes a tackler. His tackle at the 35-yard line by Tyler Fuller. Fuller literally had Lynn's jersey stretched about 1.5 feet out, and then he spun Lynn around and then got some help on the tackle. But Lynn still picks up 5 yards.
And that's the only probably problem with Brian Lynn is he is so small as he lines up at 5'8" and 130 pounds, probably soaking wet.
With his pads.
That's right, with his pads, helmet, and after his mom has fed him very well, and after his dad got him working out. But it's one of those things, he's just so small that once you've got him, he doesn't have that strength to break away. But like we saw in the big touchdown, it's tough to catch him if he gets loose.
He can run a lot faster, scared than anybody else can, Matt. The clock restarts, we wind the clock down, and we'll end our third quarter right there. We'll come back for fourth quarter action in a minute after these timeouts, as North Montgomery has come back from trailing Crawfordsville to lead by 3. It's 20-17 at the end of 3. Again, a reminder, if North wins this, they will have the undisputed championship of the Sagamore Conference because they will finish 5-0. If Crawfordsville wins, Crawfordsville then needs to beat Western Boone in the RCA Dome next Saturday, and a win today and a win next Saturday would give them a tie for the conference championship at 4-1 with North Montgomery. We'll get some third quarter stats from Tom Coyle right after this first play from scrimmage here in the fourth quarter. It's 2nd down and 5 for the Athenians. Walker drops back to throw. He sets up the screen. He gets rid of it. Whitehead has it. Whitehead to midfield. He's to the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25. Hauled down from behind by Jason Walls once again. But again, we've got Tom Coyle getting the measuring stick out. It's about a 45-yard play again.
I was going to say, depending on where they spot that, it's going to be about a 40-yard pickup for Courtney White. It'll be exactly a 40-yard pickup on the screenplay.
Matt Walker just barely got rid of the ball, just barely, as the North's front line was charging in to try and put him down for the sack. As it is, Whitehead picks up 40 yards, as Tom mentioned. The ball's now spotted at the North Montgomery 23-yard line on the first play from scrimmage of the fourth quarter. Walker over center. Moats behind him. Flynn in motion to the near side. On the delay, here's Moats. Crawfordsville still sitting at negative yardage rushing for the ball game net.
No. Take away the one run by Brett Moats.
I'm sorry. Moats had a huge run. That's right.
You take away that one run, Jeff, and they are definitely at negative yards. But the total yards for the two teams now, Jeff, are 1 yard apart. North Montgomery, 293 yards total offense through 3 quarters, 292 for the Crawfordsville Athenians.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. We'll keep those numbers updated as we continue through the fourth quarter. Almost had Coach German's, I think it was Coach German's son, tried to get on the radio there. I don't think he realized there was a crowd mic there. Here's a pass. Walker rolls out, throws right, intended for Brian Lynn, is covered by Tyler Fuller. The ball's off 2 sets of fingertips, out of bounds at about the goal line. So the clock stops with 10:51 to go here in the fourth quarter. Again, if you just joined us, it's been a wild one here tonight at North. North scored in their first play from scrimmage, or first drive, I should say, not their first play, first drive. And then we went scoreless until 2 minutes to go in the third quarter, in the second quarter, I'm sorry. And then since that, it has been just up and down the field. Both teams nailing big, huge plays from scrimmage. 3rd and 10 for the Athenians. Walker has some time. Now he has no time. He's sacked at the 28-yard line. Sam Fairfield, Mike Gerald have the combination sack. Gerald second sack, I believe, of the night, and Fairfield in on the sack as well. Monty Daney has been double teamed. He came in all night long. He had 10 sacks coming into tonight's contest to lead, I believe, the conference.
And Jeff, once again, Crawfordsville is 0 of 7 trying to convert third down attempts.
Well, they now have a long fourth down play coming up. This is going to be fourth down and 15 from the 27-yard line. Make it the 28. Walker going for it. Oh, he's got a man open. He can't hang on to the ball. Brian Lynn in the corner of the end zone trying a Willie Mays type catch. The ball was coming in over his head. Tyler Fuller had the coverage, but Lynn was open for a little bit. And the ball, that is the toughest catch in the world to make, going away from your quarterback, John Roche, and trying to have the ball come perfectly into your hands.
That's right. A very nice try there by Brian Lynn. You know, like you said, over-the-shoulder catch. It was right there if he could have just got his hands on it.
Lynn is also shaken up now down on the field. I don't know the Crawfordsville training staff down in the end zone working on him. They appear to be working on a leg or a foot. We won't speculate. I know that he kind of crumpled down when he tried to catch the ball. He twisted back, so he may have twisted an ankle or a knee.
He seems to be fine as he's jogging off the field.
He didn't twist it very hard.
Lynn, I don't know, if I were as small as Brian and I had 4 people come running over look at me, I'd get up and run too.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, he runs pretty quickly when he's scared.
Yeah, run faster scared than anybody can mad. And that incompletion, we should note, as we were talking about the injury, makes it a turnover now on downs for Crawfordsville. North Montgomery has the ball back, leading by 3. Schlicher has the ball on the bootleg. What a fake! What a fake! B.J. Schlicher's going to go 72 yards for the touchdown. Unbelievable on the fake. Nobody caught him. He was 20 yards from anybody before anybody else knew he had the ball. Charlie German was the closest guy to him with the ball. What a tremendous fake. And Schlicher goes 72 yards for the score.
Jeff, I'm absolutely speechless. B.J. Schlicher came out, and he was probably parallel with the line of scrimmage, and he was probably maybe 2 or 3 yards wide of everybody else, and I couldn't figure out why he was running the fake out so hard until he got 10 yards down the field, and I saw the ball on his left hip, and it was full stride. No one could catch him. What a way to cushion your lead for North Montgomery.
As Cervani's extra point attempt will be blocked because of a bad placement from center. Schlicher, normally the holder, was not there to hold the ball. Out on the hold was Nick Johnson, and the ball came in slick to Nick, if you will, and he did not get the ball set up in time, and in trying to reset it, Cervantes was not able to get the kick away. It was blocked. And so with 9:51 to go here in the fourth quarter, North Montgomery scores on a big play. It has been a big play night. And John, I'm not kidding. I like Tom, wondering, coming out, what a beautiful fake. And I saw BJ coming away from the stack like that, and you think, well, what's the deal there? I mean, he's really carrying this out well. And about that time, I saw the North coaches start to jump up and down, and I knew then that something was going on.
Well, I was looking to see which running back had the ball so you can make the call. And then I see I saw Coach Charlie German first jumping up and down as BJ kind of turned and went by him, and what a beautiful fake there by B.J. Schlicher.
And Jeff, I just want to say something. This is not what we expected. Scoring plays in this game: a 1-yard run, a 63-yard pass, 10-yard pass, 80-yard pass, 28-yard field goal, 62-yard pass, and 82-yard run.
Ain't no D out here tonight.
We started out with a 75-yard, 12-play, 5:49 drive, capped off by B.J. Schlicher's 1-yard run, and it hadn't been anything like that since.
Boy, they'll be talking about that one for a long time. That one was really wacky. As the ball, that's the Cervantes kickoff, is fielded at about the 15-yard line. Moats picks it up. Literally about a 1 step out from out of bounds. We've got a late flag at the 35-yard line. Cervantes' kick, I thought, guys, was rolling out of bounds. It was rolling out of bounds, and then literally stopped dead at about the 15-yard line. Moats picked it up and all of a sudden caught North by surprise and then scooted about 30 yards upfield. But the flag at the 35-yard line is, I believe, a clip. It's going to be a clip against Crawfordsville, and that's going to march them a long ways back. We have one of the North players a little slow getting up, not looking too slow now. Kevin Templeman looked more like he was tying his shoe. The ball will be marched back to the 21-yard line. Templeman's going to stay in the game, so it'll be first down for Crawfordsville from the 21-yard line after the 15-yard penalty. Just like Tom said, it's been a wacky night.
And, if you're Crawfordsville, a minute ago, you look up at the clock, and you are maintaining a 17-12 lead, and that's at the 2:54 mark of the third quarter. 9:45 left to go. They look up at the clock, and they're trailing by more than one score. We knew, and Harvey talked about it. People know North Montgomery can put points on the board like that, and that's exactly what they've done. After Crawfordsville scored the field goal to go up by 5 at the 2:54 mark, North scored in 1 minute and 18 seconds, got the ball back and scored in 12 more.
In 12 seconds.
Correct.
So that, and how long, was that a one-play drive? We'll get the number in a second. As on first down, Walker is dumped as he gets rid of the ball. The ball is incomplete, intended out in the middle, I believe, for Flynn.
It was an 82-yard run for BJ on the naked bootleg. It went 82 yards, one play, 12 seconds. And what you're going to see now from North Montgomery, Jeff, and this is what Coach Sowers loves, his linebackers and defensive linemen get to pin the ears back and go right after Matt Walker, because although he's thrown for 283 yards on 13 of 28, he's going to have to throw to get Crawfordsville back in the game.
Now, if they're going to send the linebackers in on the blitz, they better hope that the corners can keep the coverage. Here's the reverse to Whitehead. Basically running out of a slot location on the reverse. Whitehead will pick up about 5 yards and set up a third down call now for Coach Chavatello. Marcus Hudson is on the stop for North Montgomery. But now we have to start remembering that the time becomes a factor. 9:25, almost on both sides. It's 9:44 here on my wristwatch, but 9:25 and the clock is counting with time left in the ball game. On third down, we'll call it 3rd and 6 from the 26. Walker will work out of the spread formation. The first time he'll take a snap in the shotgun. Takes it clean, puts the ball out onto the flat. He's got a man open. This is J.D. Flynn, and the referee rules incomplete. It would have been a very, very close call for a first down. He was right at the sticks. Jason Walls on coverage, and it'll set up 4th down. And Coach Chavatello will send the kicking team in. Brett Moats will kick it away.
And, Jeff, it's Crawfordsville's inability to convert on 3rd and 4th down possessions. They're now 0 of 8 on 3rd. They are 1 of 3 on 4th down conversion attempts.
Get it done early or don't get it done at all. Moats will kick it away at about his own 15, 17-yard line. Fairfield and Walls stand inside their own 40-yard line for the kick. Moats has a pretty brisk wind right at his back. Clean snap. Right-footed kick, high, arching kick. Fairfield has it at his own 38. To the left side, to midfield. Run out of bounds at about the 45-yard line of North Montgomery. North will be back in action after Courtney Whitehead puts the tackle down. Let's take a quick timeout from North. The Chargers lead by 9.
Puritan, another name for soft water.
Well, for the second time tonight, we have seen a defensive penalty in a punting situation turn into a major break for the team that kicked the ball away. A blocking below the knees call, an illegal block against North Montgomery. Pre-possession has given the ball back to Crawfordsville on the penalty. So the Athenians have new life, operating from their own 41-yard line. Clock moves, 8:45 and counting. New possession here for Crawfordsville. Walker over center. One back behind him. That's Moats. Keeps him in the block, puts it out on the pattern. Here's Brian Lynn on the catch. Lynn to midfield, hauled down from behind by Tyler Fuller, and also coverage by Jason McCormick. But Lynn does get into North Montgomery territory by about a yard. The referees are going to have to take a look all the way across the field and determine if this is going to be a first down or not. While they measure that, it'll give us an opportunity to remind everybody that we want to get everybody out tomorrow to Little Giant Stadium for homecoming activity. There's been all kinds of great activities going on up on campus all week long. Had a long chat last night with Alex Costa, and obviously he, the kicker for the Wabash Little Giant team. He's in charge of all the concerts, and in addition to getting ready to play football, he's had a $100,000 budget booking bands for the entire week. They got the Y Store coming in Saturday night for a concert, so wish them well. It was short. Second down call coming up now for Crawfordsville. Walker will roll out to his right, throw the ball to Moats. Moats will haul it in for a first down, and then run flat into Coach Sowers here down on the North Montgomery sideline. Coach Sowers slows up Mr. Moats, sends him back on his way. The ball will be spotted at the 43-yard line of North Montgomery. As we noted, it's a first down now for the Athenians. Clock stopped with Moats going out of bounds with 8:23 to go. 26-17 is our score. North Montgomery has scored 2 times here late in the third and early in the fourth quarter to take the lead back from Crawfordsville. Both teams have led twice. On the handoff and the delay, Moats scampered for, what was it, Tom? What was the carry the last time? 60 yards. And North kept the linebackers at home that time, and Moats will be wrapped up for no gain. Kevin Templeman and others in on the hit for North Montgomery, but the clock keeps moving. 8 minutes and counting now. Second down and 10 is the call coming up for Crawfordsville, looking to win their 4th game of the season. Back to throw. Walker throwing deep, and unable to get to it was J.D. Flynn, the intended receiver. Schlicher coming in on the blitz, put the pressure on Walker, made him get rid of the ball maybe just a little bit faster than what he had wanted to in the first place.
Jeff, go back to Brian Lynn, who came into the game, as we mentioned before, the senior, 5 catches, 98 yards. Tonight, Brian Lynn, 5 catches, 101 yards. Sometimes the little senior waits for the biggest game of the year for him, especially as a senior, to come out to North Montgomery and have his biggest night of his career.
Lynn splits out wide to the right side. 2 wides to the left. 1 back behind Walker on 3rd and 10. Here's a quick throw. This is out to J.D. Flynn. Flynn running hard for the side for the first down sticks. I don't think he's going to get to it. I'm going to wait for one of the North players to get up off the stack. That's Walls, and Walls is slow getting up. Right in the middle of the Crawfordsville bench area. In fact, Walls is being tended to now by the Athenian training staff, and Coach German has to make the long run across the field over there into enemy territory, if you will.
That catch by J.D. Flynn now, Jeff, is his 4th for 121 yards. First catch since he made the 3 in the second quarter. It also puts Matt Walker over the 300-yard mark passing, as he is now 16 out of 33 with 1 interception for 307 yards.
Walls brings himself off the field, and he is fighting a cramp is what he is fighting, as he immediately gets some help on the sideline, and Jason McCormick goes in his place at defensive secondary. The call will be 4th down for Crawfordsville. The ball will be spotted at the 36-yard line. 7:26, the clock is stopped.
This is the 8th play of this drive, which started back on the 21-yard line, and thanks to the 4th down penalty, it was continued about a minute and a half ago.
Play clock running down, and just as the play clock hits 0, Matt Walker realizes he doesn't have any time to call the play and has to call timeout. Coach Chavatello over on the sideline was hollering at his senior quarterback. They just ran out of time. The play clock had started, and nobody knew it. Let's take a timeout ourselves here from North Montgomery High School. The Chargers lead.
The high school football radio boosters are Zippy Lube, 707 Englewood Drive.
16 of 33, 1 interception, 2 touchdowns, 307 yards tonight. B.J. Schlicher passing the ball, 12 of 26, no interceptions. 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown on a 72-yard run. B.J. with 213 yards passing tonight. Here comes the 4th down call. 4th down and 3 for Crawfordsville. Walker calling the signals, takes the snap, throwing the ball, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Big Jason Bowler, 6'3", 205, and the senior gets both hands up, John, and just knocked that pass down clean.
Right, a great job that time by Jason Bowler. He's been playing a tremendous defensive game all night for the Chargers.
He's the other end on the opposite side of Monty Daney, and Daney has seen double and sometimes triple coverage tonight.
Not that we should be surprised, Jeff, but how many times in the last 10 minutes have we said senior this or senior that, talking about players on both sides of the ball?
This has been a very classic North Crawfordsville matchup. The Athenians turn the ball over on down. 7:24 to go. North gives it to Fairfield. Fairfield's got room. He's to midfield. He'll pick up about 15 yards on that carry. Courtney Whitehead has to cut his legs out from underneath him to keep him from picking up even more yards. And Whitehead just a little slow getting up. He hit hard with Fairfield. Fairfield will be listed as down right at midfield. It's a first down for North Montgomery, and the clock rewinds. Leading by 9. Both teams heading for the RCA Dome next Saturday afternoon. North plays in non-conference action. Crawfordsville plays in their final Sagamore Conference game against Western Boone. You'll hear both games right here on WCVL or WIMC. On first down, North again hands the ball off to Big Sam Fairfield. The 180-pound senior, who has been lightly used tonight, is hauled down by Radakovic after a gain of about 7, almost 8 yards. The ball at the 43-yard line of Crawfordsville, and the clock continues to move. 6:40 to go.
Rushing numbers for the game now, Jeff. North Montgomery, 29 carries, 94 yards. The Athenians, 16 carries, 50 yards. You take away the 60-yard run by Brett Moats. Crawfordsville is in negative yardage rushing the ball.
That speaks volumes of what has happened here tonight. That and then all these big passing plays. Second down and about 3. Again to the ground. Here's Walls on the handoff. Keeps control of it. Goes to the left side. He'll pick up a first down as he crosses the 40-yard line. Brian Miller comes up from the cornerback position to haul down Walls, but not before Walls picks up enough yards to give the Chargers another first down and 10.
Reminiscent of the first drive of the night where North just came out, ran the ball, mixed in a couple passes to James Guinn on that first drive for 30 of the yards of the 75 yards, but that's what they're doing now. They're just running right at Crawfordsville.
North looking confident on the line of scrimmage for the first time in several series of downs. They got a fresh set of downs on first. On the counterplay, the ball's on the ground, on the handoff, and Crawfordsville's got it. The first turnover of the ball game for North Montgomery. Steve Harris falls on the ball at the 35-yard line. A clean snap, just a great hit by the Athenians, and the ball pops loose. Crawfordsville will have it, first and 10 on the 35-yard line. So as we've noted throughout the course of our coverage tonight, North Montgomery on the year they were plus 14 in the giveaway takeaways, meaning that they had taken the ball away 14 more times than they had given it away. That number now drops down to 13 with that lost fumble. Walker, 3-step drop, throwing deep, going for it all. Brian Lynn turns inside, then goes back outside, can't get back to the ball. He's covered by Tyler Fuller as 3 North Montgomery coaches down here on the sidelines beneath us, Tom, pacing, hands on hip. They see that big play attempt coming every time from Matt Walker, and they're just, I got to say, they look like they're just a little worried.
Well, I'd say they're very worried, and we all know, especially after what Crawfordsville did last week, 5.5 minutes is plenty of time to come up with 9 points.
Second down and 10. Walker keeps Whitehead behind him to block. He's got time. He's got a man open. This is J.D. Flynn. Flynn just takes possession of the ball and backs himself down near the 45-yard line. Kevin Templeman had the coverage and put Flynn down, but we may have a stoppage of play. I thought for measurement, but not. The referee has ruled it's a first down. Out to the 45-yard line, gain of 10. The clock stops while they move the chains. 5-14 and holding. 26-17. North Montgomery leading Crawfordsville at this juncture. Walker back to throw again. Intercepted at the 49-yard line. This is B.J. Schlicher. He's going to put 6 points up on the board. No flag, touchdown, North Montgomery. An even 50-yard return by B.J. Schlicher. That is Schlicher's third interception return, second interception return. Thank you, John. Second interception return for a touchdown this year. He had a 45-yard return against Sheridan. It is his third, guys. He had one against Sheridan. He also had a 45-yarder, a long one against Frankfurt. And now this interception return for a touchdown is the third. It makes it 32-17, and North Montgomery calls timeout before the PAT. Now we'll see if we can get everything all jotted down here. Just when you think you've seen it all happen, something else occurs. B.J. Schlicher on his third, that is his third touchdown of the night.
That he's been involved in, yes.
No, third one that he scored. He's also thrown a touchdown pass.
You're right. He's actually scored the last 3 touchdowns.
I ain't lying.
No.
And I ain't making it up. I'm not like the AM guys.
He actually scored the first touchdown of the night and has scored the last 2. So as you would say, bookend touchdowns for the junior quarterback.
32-17 is the score after North Montgomery uses the timeout to get set up for the extra point conversion attempt. I don't know if they're discussing whether or not to go for 2 or not with a 15-point
Well, I would think that a 2-point conversion here by North Montgomery pretty much puts the game out of reach, because it would take 3 scores then. If they don't get this, if they do get this, even a 1 point, 2 touchdowns with 2-point conversions gives a tie and overtime here at the game. So going for 2 here, they can put the game out of reach pretty much.
And that's Tom's logic works. North Montgomery will go
tonight.
That's right. They'll go for 2. They converted last trip 2 times ago on a pass to Walls. Here's a pass into the end zone on the attempt, and we've got flags. The pass was intended for Walls, right over the middle. Flags are everywhere. There was coverage by Proctor, coverage by others. Whitehead was there as well.
Jeff, I don't know when Charlie German lost his tie. I know it was back in the first quarter. But, you know, the guys on the kickoff team are so excited about getting ready to go back in the game. They're all standing down here. And when they saw it be no good, they started running on the field. Charlie German ran from the 30 down by the play all the way down, screaming at him to get off the field because he didn't need a penalty called on his own team.
A 2-yard penalty takes the ball to the 1.5-yard line, where North will get to try it again. Still going for 2. Will Schlicher hand the ball off now? Yes, he will. No, he won't. He'll keep it and run it in himself. Just as he scored on the 72-yard run, Schlicher executes a great fake, freezes the Crawfordsville linebackers, and Schlicher marches in for the 2-point conversion run. So Schlicher runs it in from 50 on the interception, then scores the extra 2 points himself on the PAT. And with 5:01 to go, North Montgomery holds a 34-17 lead. Let's take a quick 30-second timeout. We'll be back with North's kickoff right after this.
It's true. For years, Zock's restaurant was
on technology here tonight. We are not using Cellular One to broadcast the game. We're shooting on what was hopefully a nice, clean Marty signal. But Mike James calls from the station to let us know that Southmont has lost tonight to Western Boone, 23-13. On the kickoff, Cervantes kicks it down to the near sideline. Brett Motes again picks it up as he had done once before. Jason Guinn has the tackle, but not before Motes returns the ball about 15, 18 yards out to near the 30-yard line.
And Jeff, I just want to point out that Crawfordsville coming into the game had given up 26 points in the second half all year through its first 6 games. They've given up 22 points in the second half to the Chargers tonight.
They're going to need some points in a hurry here. We're down under 5 minutes to go, and the Athenians trail by 17. Matt Walker over center. Crawfordsville will play that Western Boone team that won tonight next week in the RCA Doom. Courtney Whitehead on the call will carry the ball for about 4 or 5 yards before Kevin Templeman will drag him down. Next week, in case you're just wondering, the 4-game setup for the day at the Dome. Again, it's Saturday. Starts at about 11:45 in the morning when Frankfort plays in non-conference action. Southmont will then play Lebanon at about 1:30. You'll hear that game on WIMC. Crawfordsville plays Western Boone at about 3:45, and North Montgomery finishes things up with a 7:30 game against Northview. Again, you'll hear that game here on WIMC. As on second down, the play again going on the ground. Crawfordsville hands the ball off, and John, while we're getting distracted there, the play that time I think went to Motes. Motes will pick up about 4 yards or 5. Well, actually about 3 yards.
Actually, be a no gain.
All right, you call it a no gain.
Because Whitehead picked up 5 yards the last play.
Oh, all right. The ball's at the 36-yard line. We were actually out. Somebody said there was a lost girl here at the stadium. Not to be though. On third down. Once again, Crawfordsville using the ground play. They hand the ball off to Whitehead. Whitehead will get nowhere. Back to about the original line of scrimmage. And it will be 4th down. So Crawfordsville going away from the
Crawfordsville, I think, obviously at this point, just kind of giving the game. Realizing that 17 points in the last 4 minutes was going to be a bit much to ask of any team, that right now they'll just do this. We'll punt the ball away, let North run the clock out, and they'll get ready for their game next week.
As you may have heard Coach Chavatello talk about before the game. There's more to it than just one game. Moats will kick it away. Fairfield will pick it up at his own 29-yard line. He'll break a tackle. He'll break 2 tackles. He's out near midfield, and he'll be brought down at about the 49-yard line. So Fairfield gives the crowd something more electric to do. Brett Moats comes up for the tackle, 20 yards on the return for Sam Fairfield. 2:53 to go here in this 4th quarter. North Montgomery has the lead, and lots of North fans are picking up their jackets here below us. And what a great crowd we're here tonight, John.
Tremendous crowd for both Crawfordsville and North Montgomery. There were people lined up along the fence on the visitor side. There were people lined up over here on North Montgomery side, plus the stands being full.
They've seen a great game. I'll tell you what, it has been a game that has something for just about everybody. Sam Fairfield will get the call. He'll take the ball into Crawfordsville territory. Brian Bennett has the tackle for the Athenians. Crawfordsville will fall below 500 with this loss. They'll fall to 3-4 on the season, but that can be rectified next week again at the RCA Dome against Western Boone. Again, if you just tuned in, Western Boone defeated Southmont tonight by 10 points at Western Boone. The Mounties will have one last conference shot at it also. They will be playing Lebanon next Saturday in the early afternoon. We'll give Fairfield about 6. Fairfield will pick up about 5 more on this 2nd down carry. Steve Harris has the tackle as the clock goes under 1:45. The first down carry for Fairfield will probably be enough to end things here if Crawfordsville elects not to stop the clock. The ball is spotted squarely on the Athenian 40. The clock starts up, and Schlicher can just let as much time go on the play clock before he hands the ball off, and they can do that 3 times and run this game clock just about completely out. Schlicher brings his team out of the huddle very slowly. The play clock at 10, and now we've got a whistle and a flag. The call is delay. And
Jeff, when they called that whistle, there were like 10 or 8 seconds, John says, on the play clock at the end of the field.
Well, they keep evidently the play clock and all the official clocking is kept on the field. That makes it
in that situation, what they should do is reset the clock up here. But with a minute 15 left to go in a 17-point game, it really means no difference. North calls timeout anyway.
They do. They're going to have to get everything reset. That would be a tough one if you're a coach or a player. How do you explain, the fact that you just had a penalty call and there's still time left up on the game clock? But that's the way it happened. And Tom, that has been. We talked about the penalties in the first half. North really has eliminated most of their penalties in the second half.
And really, that big quarter for them was the second, where they had 3 penalties for 45 yards. They picked up another 25 yards. 8 penalties for 80 yards in the game is not good compared to the 5 for 42 for the Athenians. But a 5-yard penalty in the third quarter and 15 yards here in the fourth quarter, none of which hurt the North Montgomery Chargers.
No, they are only a minute and 15 seconds away from winning their 6th game of the season. The only blemish of the season thus far was that 6-0 loss last Friday here at home at the hands of McCutcheon. What was, as John and I talked about in our pregame show, one of the better high school games that we have ever seen played in our coverage time. Schlicher will just put a knee down on 2nd down and long. And the clock continues to run. It will now be, will be 2nd down. That was a 1st down penalty earlier. As the play clock now runs down to 15-14, the game clock down under 50 seconds. Schlicher will let it run down close, down at one time. You'll have to do it one more time before everything will end. Schlicher downs the ball once again, loses another yard. Clock continues to run. We're down to 30 seconds to go, and if this referee takes his time, which he is doing, he will put the game clock. Oh, what time? He managed to get the play clock started just at the 25-second mark. Third down and long. This game will end. Yeah, they do not have to run a play, and everybody knows it. We're down to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And our game is over. The North Montgomery Chargers have defeated Crawfordsville here at home to gather a whole host of bragging rights here. The final score, 34-17. And we'll be back with post-game activities, comments, and coaches' talks right after this.
The high school football radio boosters are Puritan. See Richard Baker or Don Gould at 607 Waynetown Road in Crawfordsville. And Boots Brothers F&F Marts, open 24 hours for groceries, pop, Shell gasoline, and touchless car wash. 2 locations in Crawfordsville, plus Waveland and Waynetown.
Puritan Water Conditioning has installed units in hundreds.
Remember, Personal Finance has cash waiting for you. Call 362-7240. And Eder Ford Mercury, Darlington Avenue, Crawfordsville. Trade better, see Eder. Stop by and see the new Ford Contours.
Well, thanks, Guy. Again, back here at North Montgomery High School, where the Chargers have won a whole bunch of different things. To try and review everything with a 34-17 win over Crawfordsville. The win gives North a perfect season in the Sagamore Conference. They are now 5-0. Nobody else has any grasp at the crown. The Chargers are the undisputed champions of the Sagamore Conference in football this year. With the win, Crawfordsville also wins the county championship with wins over both South and Crawfordsville. North now claims the county championship this season. They get one step closer to evening the record overall with Crawfordsville in this, the silver edition of this.